We'll keep.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to the McAllister Hours. I am your host, Colin McAllister. We are here back, not live, but here for you, despite the coronavirus. Back with our good friend Theresa. Here for some. My fucking thing seems to work.
Oh,
There we go. Nothing's picking up. I don't know what's going on. How are you doing?
not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right. I had some non-corona related illness this week, so that was kind of a bummer.
I know.
Just some stomach issues, headaches. I think a lot of it probably had to do with stress more than anything, but yeah, just crazy times we're in. We're not gonna. I'm so sick of talking about corona. I think you feel the same way.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, we're not gonna dive too deep into that. But yeah, I mean,
Not too deep.
yeah, I'm doing pretty well.
We're doing pretty well. We should mention that we are one of the only people that we're allowed to be in this close contact with when this first started, we were kind of isolated together over circumstances. So,
That's
but
true.
I don't have a whole lot more to say about it. I mean, people be careful and don't be an idiot.
Be
and that's
careful.
it. Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I will say I think I have seen some studies where it's flatlining in places. So, I mean,
It's positive news.
it's positive news. Yeah.
We'll just have to keep
So-
staying the course and.
Yep. Keep staying the course. Keep staying positive. Don't lose hope. We'll get there. We'll get there at some point. But probably the main reason why I wanted to have you on, we're filming this on Saturday. When this comes out, it will be Easter Sunday. I don't know necessarily how you are on all this in terms of what you label yourself, but I know we both share some similar idols in the atheistic science
Oh, absolutely.
bending community.
Yeah.
What's your take on Easter? What do you usually do on Easter? Do you do anything? Do you just work?
I mean, nothing. I mean, I haven't. On that side of my family, we haven't done anything for many, many, many years. And growing up, it was entirely secular.
Okay.
At least, as secular as Easter can be, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean,
At least families
it was more
still
about
got
the kids
together.
and families, so.
Yeah.
The only people are with Christmas or whatever,
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I mean, me growing up strict Catholic, it was, well, it's kind of interesting actually, because when I was growing up, my parents didn't do the Easter Bunny, because
Right.
that was probably beyond the realm of religious possibility in
Very
their mind.
conservative
Yeah,
Catholic, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
old school Vatican II my great grandmother's Catholicism.
Yeah.
So
extreme.
Yeah.
If you didn't go to church on Sunday, you had to go to confession the next day, or whatever.
Wow.
Had to go to
That's
confession
intense.
immediately, or
Yeah.
you would be on a straight path to hell. That kind of mentality,
that's
which
wow.
is really just mentally straining to grow up under. I feel like
I don't think that's healthy. Yeah, no,
No.
not at all.
I don't recommend it.
I mean, what are you? Everything you do, you're going to hell. What's it matter? How dare you have these thoughts, and you're, a 12-year-old
Yeah.
boy growing up.
Essentially,
I mean, it's terrible. I don't agree with it. Not at all. So.
I agree. But anyways, growing up, it was funny because everybody had the Easter Bunny, and they would, it'd be the next day at school, and they'd be like, "What'd you get from the Easter Bunny?" And it's like, "I didn't get shit."
They didn't do any of that, huh? No,
Yeah,
honey
it'd be
eggs,
like,
no Easter dinner. Did you have Easter dinner?
We had Easter. Oh yeah, we definitely
Easter
had a
dinner.
big Easter dinner. But the Figment bunny coming into your room, and I think they put treats in your
They just-
shoes.
I think
something
there's
like that.
an Easter basket, and
Yeah,
you
they leave an Easter basket. It's like the Tooth Fairy,
Yeah.
The parents just kind of make up whatever they want. It's kind of free reign.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. The coronavirus is not going to be miraculously saved by that day, unfortunately.
No, I'm afraid we still have to practice social distancing and
Yes.
self-quarantining when necessary and things like that.
Yeah, and I hope that's something that people practice with the holidays, is that they still remember the holidays, quote unquote.
Well, we're in one of the 5 states in the entire country that doesn't have an actual moratorium on a governor's order or something like that.
What do you mean?
So from
stay at home.
You can't. Yeah, I mean you can only anyway. What other states are doing, which is just go to the store. You can get carry out and drive through if that restaurant's open. A lot of them are not.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of businesses that are going to fold after this.
50% of businesses are probably going to be shut. I should specify small businesses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have jobs, really. Still have jobs. I mean, you're essential, and I'm semi-essential, I guess. But
you at least have the flexibility to work from home, which
yeah.
is
I work from home, so
for a lot of people,
I don't
especially
get out at all.
People especially who are from the line of work that I did for a long time, which is food service. A lot of people I know that used to work in that are fucked right now. They're just waiting on unemployment.
I can't wait for these stimulus checks to hit us. They should have already hit us, but as usual,
there's
our
gonna be
dear
delays.
president is slow as fuck.
Yeah, there's always going to be delays.
Yep.
Yeah, the joke, the government's like the slowest moving body in existence.
I mean, it could have been a little bit handled better with a different president, I think. But
I do not disagree at all. But I guess anyways, you don't have to dive too deep into it, but I think it's kind of interesting. Because
we both love Christopher Hitchens, and amazing. If you don't know who he was, look into him. He's great.
Oh well, we're gonna watch a clip. We're gonna watch a clip of both.
Good.
Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens.
Oh, I love them both so much.
Hell yeah. I just kind of wanted to take some time to gloat about it, but and I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm really excited to have you on because it is kind of a stingy topic. There aren't really a lot of people I feel like I can comfortably. Not a whole lot of
people we know or
that can comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to have J Bash on.
Oh, I'd love to get J Bash on. Yeah.
He's a big advocate of that too.
When this is over, we'll have to have him on.
I'll
just watch while you guys chat.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Good. I only talk to him online now because obviously we were not able to get together right now. But an old friend of ours, we go back a couple of years. So.
Oh yeah, we all go back. Those are some interesting times, to say the least.
I know.
But anyways, what I'm getting at, I guess what I'm curious about is you claim Jewish. You claim that you're Jew, or obviously you're Jewish. Not that you claim that you're Jewish. Sorry. Yet you,
I have
so
a
are you
family, so.
Yeah. So are you culturally Jewish, religiously Jewish? How do you all feel about that?
I'm not religious in any aspect of anything.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've got the two sides of me and very mixed background.
Yeah, how'd you grow up? Was it mixed Jewish Catholic?
Non-religious in every way.
Oh, well, that's right. So you specifically grew up.
Me specifically, yeah.
And then the rest of your family was mixed in.
Oh, they were mixed, yeah, mostly mixed. It's a complex situation. I don't want to go too deep into it for my family's privacy, but
I get it.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how I think it is a good household to raise a child in, kind of a secular minded.
Mm-hmm.
Despite me growing up religious, I will say that in some regards, I did grow up very scientific in a way. My mother was a huge advocate in evolution and Darwin. And,
interesting. Yeah, that's nice.
Always promoted the Bible as being something that should be taken figuratively as more of a moral justification of things versus scientific fact. And that was always a conflict I had growing up. A lot of my friends who were Protestant Reformed at the just the area that I grew up in, they all took the Bible extremely literally. When someone lived 1,000 years, they lived 1,000 years. When someone was raised into the mountains or the skies by a chariot, that shit actually fucking happened.
Obviously true. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, no deniability, right?
No.
If it's in the good book,
true.
If it's in the good book, it's fact. I've heard. I probably should know more about this concretely, but I've heard that a lot of the books of the Bible were written like in a Lewid state on an island. The guy was fucking hallucinating.
I don't know. I haven't looked that deep into it, but that's interesting. I have no idea.
I mean, I would not be surprised if there were psychedelics involved in the writing of.
This could explain a lot of things, really.
Found a cluster of mushrooms under a tree and decided to write the Book of Ezekiel or whatever, you know. Anyways, let's get into this. We got some funny shit. Let's just gloat about this.
I remember this one actually.
Personal story segment tonight. Author Richard Dawkins is a committed
he
atheist.
just shuts him
His
down.
book says
He, like,
evolution
cuts the
should be
whole
taught
thing
to
out.
every child, and faith-based beliefs like intelligent design are
just so
hooey.
wily guy.
His book is called The Greatest Show on
Thank
Earth:
God
The
he's
Evidence for
gone.
Evolution.
Yeah,
And I
no
spoke with
kidding.
Mr. Dawkins a few days ago.
He still has influence.
Now, when we
though,
last
which is
left you, Mr. Dawkins, you were selling your book, The God Delusion, big bestseller,
I actually
based
own
on
that book.
Atheism is good, and those
I
of us
did.
who believe
Well,
are kind of sappy.
I bought it for a friend.
Now, I want to show the audience
But it's a great
the
book. I
key
read it.
part of that interview, and then we'll get to your new
I
book.
tried some of his
Will it
older
take?
ones.
I'm throwing in
They
with
were harder to
Jesus
read, but-
rather than
Yeah.
throwing in with you guys,
Dense.
because you guys can't tell me how it
You
all got
guys.
here.
You guys.
We're working
Yeah.
on it. Physicists are
Oh,
working.
when you get it, then maybe I'll listen.
Yeah, well, no, I mean,
I
if you
see,
look at the
okay.
history of science over the centuries,
Yeah.
the amount that's gained in knowledge each century is stupendous. In the beginning of the 21st century, we don't know everything.
All right, when you guys figure it out, then you come back here and tell me, because until that time, I'm sticking with Judeo-Christian philosophy. So now, tell me where I'm going wrong here. I believe in creative design. I believe in evolution, but I think it was overseen by a higher power because, as we just stated, and you acknowledged, you guys still haven't figured out how it all began.
There's a great deal that science hasn't worked out, and we don't know how it all began. But it's a most extraordinary piece of warped logic to say that because science can't answer a particular question, you're going to throw in your lot with Jesus. And there's no evidence that he did it either. You'll
Yeah,
never
why
get
not?
any
Muhammad
evidence
or
for any
somebody.
of them.
I mean, you were
Throw
born
in
into
your lot with
Christianity,
science,
so
which
you
at least
chose
is
that
working
path.
on
Yeah,
the problem.
exactly.
Well, here's the problem that I have with throwing him a lot with science. Science doesn't advance the human condition in any moralistic way, and Jesus did. See, my thesis is that if everybody followed the...
See, the problem with that is that you're like, look at
I
his
know,
face.
that's
Oh
great.
my god.
Well, he's an evolutionary biologist, so I mean, he knows obviously how life developed. So
That's always one of
and
the things.
evolution.
Always one of the things that's pissed me off so much about people who are religious and knock people who are atheistic minded is that the whole moral
It's just-
argument
I mean,
that you can't develop any morals without religion. I'm like, are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
no.
You can't just like interact with people and be like, hey, you know, if I don't
I
want,
think we know right from wrong.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
know hurting somebody is wrong.
if you're raised in a relatively stable environment, you
yeah,
can,
you know right from wrong.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just know it inherently, so
It's not something that religion.
it's not
needs
that
to.
difficult.
Exactly.
teachings of Jesus Christ, that we'd have peace on earth, love your brother, everybody love one another, and it would almost be an idyllic civilization. Now, am I 100% sure that Jesus is God?
White
No,
Jesus.
but I choose to believe that because the man was so extraordinary,
Look at his
and what he
face.
did in his 33 years on
Oh
earth
my-
still
It's like,
resonates to this day. That, I think, is more powerful than your belief that, hey, someday we might figure it all out, but in the meantime, we're not going to believe in any deity.
Why would you muddle up the question of giving you a moral compass for life, which is important, with the other question, which is explaining the nature of the world, the nature of life, the nature of the universe? That's what science is about.
Okay, and I understand that, but I don't think that my belief system contradicts science. And I do believe that there is a high power, and in my life, I can point to it, I see it. But what disturbs me about you guys, and I'm putting
The
you
10
into this
cliché
category perhaps unjustly,
religious
is that you
images.
seem to look down on believers.
Well, there is a
This is
problem
Fox
when
News
you
from,
guys, if I could
like,
turn it back
2009.
on you, try to say
It's not
that
much
because
better
you
now.
believe what you do because of a holy book and because of the way you've been brought up, therefore that entitles you to go into science classes and tell teachers what they can or cannot teach. You may think that God oversaw evolution, and that's a point of view that you could probably defend, but leave it out of the science class.
It's not fair to leave it out of the science
It's not fair
class
to leave it out of
if
the
the science class is incomplete. And you, by your own admission, say we don't know how it
Incomplete.
all
Give me a
began.
fucking
So if the
break.
science class is going to say evolution
luckily,
only,
my
but
science
I really
classes
don't
growing
know
up,
how it started.
They never
that
muddled
gap
it up. I grew up
has
in
got
Des Moines,
to be
Iowa. It was never
explored.
muddled.
You
It
must
was
see
science
that
was
it's quite
science, that was
remarkable
it.
piece
There
of
was no religious
illogic to say
discussion
that
class.
because science can't fill
Yeah.
a
Not
particular
any-
gap,
any memory I
therefore
have.
we
No
have to
memory I
turn to
have.
Christianity.
You don't have to turn
might
anywhere.
say,
You just have to
therefore-
present it. You don't have to turn to it.
Remind me to get
You
back to that.
present it.
I have a
Listen
story.
to me and stop shouting at me.
Well, turn your earpiece
Just
down. I'm not
because science
shouting.
can-
That's the way I usually talk. Go ahead.
Okay, I know it is.
Oh
I've been
fuck! I
warned
missed
about
that.
it.
Here, let's go. That was a good
Piece of
moment.
illogic to say that because science can't fill a particular gap, therefore we have to turn to Christianity.
You don't have to turn
might
anywhere.
say,
You just have to
therefore-
present it. You don't have to turn to it. You present
Will
it.
you listen to me and stop shouting at me?
Well, turn your earpiece
Just
down. I'm
because
not
science
shouting.
can-
That's the way I usually talk. Go ahead.
I
Okay,
mean, to
I
be
know
fair,
it is.
that
I've
is the
been
way
warned
he
about
usually
it.
spoke. So
Just because science
Yeah,
has a
but
gap in its knowledge,
he just like was like,
does
"Are you
not
fucking
Well, he's
entitle
a
you
kidding
to
me?"
dick,
turn to
so,
any other
yeah.
particular alternative. Pick on
I
a
can't
better
remember what brought
science.
him down.
No, that's
some
that's
scandal,
fascism.
I'm sure.
For you to say that you can't mention
Sexual
Yeah.
harassment. I'm pretty
For
sure.
you to say that you cannot, in a
Not
public school
surprising.
classroom, a science classroom, talk about brilliant men, and I mean brilliant, smarter than you, who do believe
Smarter than you.
in a higher power, who do believe that there was an overseer of the universe. If you insist you can't even mention it, that is fascism, sir.
What you called fascism was my statement that if science can't answer something, you should therefore turn to Christianity.
Not turn,
If
discuss.
a particular
He
scientific
doesn't know what
theory
the fuck
doesn't
he's
work,
talking about.
He's
some
out of
better
his league,
science.
obviously.
No,
I mean,
you present in
10,000
the
leagues
science
above
classroom
Bill O'Reilly.
all the alternatives that are legitimate. Now, Adam and Eve, you don't have to do that. All right, that's for the biblical
Just believe in Jesus.
portion of a theology
I mean, what's
class.
the fucking difference?
But, as I said,
That's-
there are more believers
That's the
than
moral. You
non-believers,
just have to believe
and
in
that
Jesus.
should be
Finally.
presented.
It's
I'll
the
give you
same
the
kind
last
of,
word.
Science is unique in that it does base itself upon evidence rather than upon superstition, upon authority, upon holy books, or upon revelation.
All right, the book is The Greatest Show on Earth. Mr. Dawkins,
have not
I'm
read
sorry I was a little loud, but you know how Irish guys can get. And we appreciate you coming on.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But anyways, what I was gonna say.
Oh, Christopher.
If anyone thinks
We'll get to that. But I was gonna say, so I grew up in small town, Orange City, Iowa, as we discussed.
Yep.
In the northwest portion
Which
of
I
Iowa.
already knew a little bit about because of an acquaintance of mine that I used to work with that also
Really?
grew up in Orange, Iowa. Yeah.
Orange City.
Yep.
Were you? No, that was actually. I have another friend, Molly. She's been on the podcast. She was saying she had a coworker who had a relative who went to the same college that was in that town, Northwestern. Just very overly religious town.
Yeah,
like
it's
6
kinda-
different
it's
churches.
Weird. Yeah, it's very,
like,
very.
very cult like. But anyways,
Yeah.
it was interesting in my 10th grade biology class. We had a portion where we had to write a paper on you could do either evolution or creationism. You had to do like a lengthened paper.
This
it
is
was
a science class?
Yeah. This is in science class. These are one of the 2 options.
Oh.
No, it gets
That's
crazy.
okay.
Guess how many? So I was obviously one of the people who did a paper on evolution. Guess how many of my people in my 100 grade class wrote a paper
Well, it's
on
low
evolution?
hanging fruit, isn't it? And they were already exposed to all that. So why not go that way? Easy paper.
Yeah.
Give the teacher what they wanted anyway.
So guess how many out of like 100 students?
Probably 99.
No, like how many wrote a paper on evolution?
Oh, you're the only one.
Well, yeah,
I'm sure.
Me
I
and
didn't
one
know
other
that,
person.
but I'm positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and one other person.
Oh, one other person. So
Yeah.
there's 2 of you.
Yeah,
Ah,
one of 2 people that wrote a paper on evolution in my grade.
that's great.
And then at the end, they asked the teacher what he was, and he was of course a creationist. I had a physics teacher who believed that Earth was created in 7 days, like literally. It's really sad seeing people that are supposedly scientific, but yet is that
Well,
really?
You just spin science for a belief system that has no basis in reality. I mean, that's
Exactly.
people are raised that way, and then that's what they do.
It's justified in their mind.
In their mind.
sense. Yep.
It's fitting into their community, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, I really do envy people that grow up in this area.
Lucky. I didn't know that I was, but I'm lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to grow up in a diverse, like, very secular-minded place.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you live in a community where you're one of the few people that really thinks differently from everybody else, it can become a really toxic, anxiety-filled experience.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm sure.
Speaking of my old town, we're actually gonna get into this later. My dad sent me this article from we used to do this thing in the town because we were all Dutch. It was called the Tulip Festival. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, we grew up. I used to go to the as a child
the one in Pella.
Yeah, the Pella. It's been many years, but yeah, I've done that before.
See, I've never been to the one in Pella, but we had our own in that town. We're like one of
How many Dutch people were there?
Oh, a lot. It's a huge Dutch
Huge
community.
Dutch. Oh.
Yeah, very populated Dutch.
But you're Irish Dutch and God knows what else.
I'm not Dutch.
You're not Dutch at all?
Nope.
Ah. Okay.
I'm Irish, and I think my mother's German descent, like German and Scottish. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong though.
Tell.
There's a question.
So this is Christopher Hitchens.
I think this is a question I answered poorly.
I've seen this whole
or inadequately, or badly, or failed to answer it all. I would like to challenge you.
It's classic.
I'd happily give them 5 minutes, but I have, so to say, shot my bolt otherwise. Is there anyone who would like to challenge me? Yes. Please.
Oh, this guy, he's got such contempt for
Why don't
him.
you spend your whole life
It's ridiculous.
trying to convince people that there isn't? Why don't you just stay home?
Was the
Can you repeat that?
was the question?
The question is, if there is no God, why spend your life and career trying to refute that? Why not just leave it alone and stay home? Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, it isn't my whole career, for one thing. It's become a major preoccupation of my life, though, in the last 8 or 9 years, especially since September 11th, 2001, to try and help generate an opposition to theocracy and its depredations internationally. That is now probably my main political preoccupation. To help people in Afghanistan, in Somalia, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Israel, resist those who sincerely want to encompass the destruction of civilization and sincerely believe they have God on their side in wanting to do so. Maybe I will
God,
take
give
a few
us
minutes just
something.
to say something that I find repulsive about especially monotheistic, messianic religion. With a large part of itself, it quite clearly wants us all to die. It wants this world to come to an end. You can tell the yearning for things to be over whenever you read any of its real texts or listen to any of its real, authentic spokesmen, not the sort of the pathetic apologists who sometimes masquerade for it. Those who talk, there was a famous spokesman for this.
He doesn't even know what's going on.
Well, I think he's got such burning
say
hatred
that
and
those of us
desire
who
for
have
him.
chosen rightly will be gathered.
But it's so
to the
blind,
arms
you
of
know.
Jesus,
Oh, it is.
leaving all of the rest
And the
of it
problem is
behind.
it's
If
so
we're in a
socially
car,
unacceptable
it's
to
your lookout.
refute
That
it.
car won't have a driver anymore. If we're a pilot, that's your lookout. That
Oh, he's
plane will
talking
crash.
about the
we
thing that.
will be with Jesus, and the rest of you.
Pause this for 1 second here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember being a young kid and going to my friend's Baptist Sunday school,
Yeah.
and against my mother's wishes. And
Smart
they wanted
lady.
something to do, and this is one of the problems. Is it was something to do that was a group, and you were
Yeah.
really kind of in it together.
That's the poll
Yeah.
that they have.
Yeah, no, totally. And in this case, they played us a video, and this is the first time I'd ever seen or heard of this. I could get on board with the love everybody and care about each other and rah, 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 which at that point in my young life, I don't remember how old I was, but I was like, this is great, whatever. And everybody was, all the adults were paying attention to us and,
Yeah.
you know, things that my parents didn't give us. They were too busy doing whatever it is that they were doing. You know, they were divorced, and my dad was doing his thing. My mom was working as a single mom, and, you know, so I had adults that were giving us attention. And I had a group of ready-made kids to hang
Yeah.
out with in a goal-oriented fashion. So that was great and all this. And then they showed us this video of the Rapture, a modern-day Rapture.
Oh, no.
And it was the most horrifying thing I had ever seen in my life. And I went home and I told my mom, and she was like, "You are not going back there again." And no, I never went back, and I was upset. I was confused. But people were all of a sudden, they were disappeared from their life, and they had this clothes lying on the stairs where they were standing before. Pilots in the air crashing aeroplanes, and if you weren't raptured, well, fuck you, it's your lookout, buddy. You know, and it was the most, it was just disturbing, especially and it was a really adult film. It was not made for kids, and we were young kids, and this is like,
it was
God,
it was like graphic and everything.
It was pretty graphic, and it was made by some church, so it wasn't like but a lot of churches put a lot of money into this thing. A lot of
yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah. They have the money for that.
They put a lot of money into this, but it wasn't meant for mainstream media.
No.
Anything mainstream by a church is probably of Satan in their mind anyway. So, anyway, that was the end of that experience. So,
let's give a round of applause for Teresa's mother.
Yes, Teresa's mom. Bless her. She's not with us anymore, but she's always with me. So,
good step.
Not in a religious way, just you know, she is.
One of the things I love is on Reddit, the atheist page on Reddit. They always tell stories about people having to deal with that same situation, like their kids having friends and they want to pull them into church, and them having to deal with all that. Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they love and they care about you unless you're not one of them and you don't believe what they believe in, and then fuck you, it's your lookout. So
yep, exactly.
You know, it's the funniest thing I've ever been part of my life.
Like if you want to be a politician, you have to be religious in some sense.
Have to. Well, we could talk about that, and we should actually.
Yeah.
I think that 99% of them actually do not believe it. I think that they know to get elected, they have to pretend to believe it.
I agree.
Or get on board with it. Yeah.
A lot of the people who founded this country were actually very secular minded.
Thomas Jefferson.
Big atheist. They all smoke pot, and they all.
I haven't heard about that part, but I could probably.
Oh, they all grew hemp. They all grew hemp. Like that was like a major crop.
It's a good crop. It's a good strong material. So.
That was the reason. That was the whole reason it became illegal in the first place, because Mexico was exporting at exponential rates, and we didn't want to compete with that, so we
Colin,
made it illegal.
You would know more about this than me. So,
yeah, this is true.
It's true.
This is true. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Can go straight.
Oh, you're good.
To hell. The eschatological element that is inseparable from Christianity. If you don't believe that there is to be an apocalypse, there is going to be an end, a separation of the sheep and the goats, a condemnation, a final one, then you're not really a believer. And the contempt for the things of this world shows through all of it. It's well put right from an English exclusive brethren sect, says we are the pure and chosen few, and all the rest are damned. There's room enough in hell for you. We don't want heaven crammed.
We don't want heaven crammed now, do we?
Muslims talk. They cannot wait. They cannot wait for death and destruction to overtake and overwhelm the world.
Yeah. Oh.
They can't wait for
something else.
For what I would call, without ambiguity, a final solution. When you look at the Israeli settlers, paid for often by American tax dollars, deciding that if they can steal enough land from other people and get all the Jews into the promised land, all the non-Jews out of it, then finally...
I'm familiar with this version of settler.
Of the return of the Messiah.
Most of Israel isn't that way, but they certainly have a small vocal minority that is. So
can occur. So the painful business of living as humans and studying civilization and trying to acquire learning and knowledge and health and medicine and to push back can all be scrapped. And the cult of death can take over.
Yeah.
That, to me, is a hideous thing in eschatological terms, in end times terms, on its own. A hateful idea, a hateful practice, and a hateful theory, but very much to be opposed in our daily lives, where there are people who sincerely mean it, who want to ruin.
I've met these people. Some of them are, in my warm countenance, or some of them I count as friends. But what can you do? They probably think about me. What can I do about my friend, atheist?
Well,
but we're tolerant of each other, and that's all that really matters.
And that's the thing, is it's so like brainwashing in a way.
So brainwashing.
Well, not in a way. It just is.
No, it really is.
Thinks that there's a question,
like, to the point where you can't even be logical with someone.
I've seen this before too.
Oh hell yeah!
This is great.
I thought you'd get kicked out of this.
No, I did. I really do, and I understand the science behind it. No, and And I get it. I get it. If you want to believe in something so badly and be a part of something so bad, there's something definitely wrong with our society.
Oh my god, I just don't understand. Like, are these people all really that delusional, or
Yes. No, they are.
have
yes.
to be?
You are, or you're really pretending to be.
They
So-
have to be pretending to be. They're
Some
like
of them-
They're pretending to be because they want to believe that they are.
Well, it's like hypnotism.
Yeah.
I've looked into hypnotism. It was fascinating to me, and it's like hypnotists, people that are hypnotized. You go in there willing to be hypnotized.
Yeah.
You're willing to be, and that's why you're able to convince yourself to do these things. So there's actual brain science behind it. So I mean, it's not. These aren't professional actors. There might be, I don't know, there might be some in here.
That guy's
but
probably a
not.
professional actor.
Well, he's certainly acting. He might believe what he's doing, but I doubt it. I doubt it. It's hard
That's always
to say.
the question, is it?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Well, with this guy, I don't know him that well.
See,
I don't know who the actual person is, but
now-
somebody like Benny Hinn, I know he knows his bullshit, so he does it anyway.
Is it fair to assume? Maybe not, but
I don't
I would
know.
assume that on a level like that, where I mean, you can see that cathedral. It's pretty big. It's
pretty big. It's a
pretty
mega
obvious
church.
they have a lot
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
I would be less inclined to think that that person actually believes what they're preaching versus someone who
Yeah,
is
like
like in a
Joel
small
Osteen.
church. What was that?
Joel Osteen, I mean, one of
I'm
the
not
worst
familiar.
offenders. Oh my God, you'll know who he is. Look him
Okay,
up,
I
you'll
gotta
see
look
him. You'll see him. He's
Joel
one of the
what?
top.
What?
None of these people have ever donated anything
Oh.
to COVID-19
Oh, of course
recovery,
not.
of
Why
course.
not?
So why would they? There, that fucker is. Yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
Yep. I read something about him. He was kind of born into
Look
this.
at
I think
that, all
his
that
father kinda
plastic.
did. I know.
Holy
I know.
fuck!
Look, no. So, all right. So look up his house. Look up his house. House. Look, look at that.
Holy
Yeah. See, I mean,
shit!
this is, you know, obviously a humble man who is going to heaven.
Yep.
Yes, in every way. And there's no way he doesn't believe shit. He's a liar.
Oh
This
my
guy's
god.
just in it for the money. Yeah, it's
Whole.
it's crazy.
So
I know.
it's just this though.
Well, just that.
But
yeah.
I mean, okay, I was thinking maybe
I
it
don't
was
know
a
if that's
double
part of
house.
it either. But
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised, but that's probably someone else's.
Yeah.
But look at River something. I don't know. It's obviously a richer community in Houston, but
What's it?
he peddles bullshit.
What?
He
What
gives
was
people false hope.
it? River? You said?
No, it's on the side there in the river something suburb.
Oh,
of
in the
Houston.
river.
The name of the suburb that he's in.
Oh,
if you
the
look
suburb.
to the left. Yeah, over there in the blue. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Somewhere
wait,
in
Houston?
some community, some rich. So that house next to it is probably a part of that rich community too.
Oh, I
But
see what you're saying.
but either
Okay.
or, he's
He's
loaded.
got way too much.
There's probably 12 bathrooms.
God, what's the name of the old guy who
Pat Robertson?
is that the guy who has the jet?
Oh God, no! That's
He said that God
no,
told
that's
him to
different- that's a
buy
different
another
guy.
jet.
Yeah, he's another liar too.
Yeah.
The thing about that's different with this guy, I know Joel Osteen doesn't believe it. I just know it. The old guy, Richard Copeland, maybe. Look up Copeland or something. I know who you're talking about, but he had that argument with somebody about the jet that the reporter actually caught him off guard. That same person, and he was like pointing his finger at him
Oh,
and
that
being
I think
like-
that might be it.
Yeah, that's not him. No, that's
It looks like him, but-
Copeland.
Wait,
Copeland.
okay, let me see.
Copeland. 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 Oh, for God, yes. I mean, that's a good one. That's not the same guy though. It's a
Oh,
different guy.
yep. Here we go.
Oh God, there's more than one. This is a totally different dude.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it says.
and that's always the thing. You always find more than what you thought, and you're like, "Holy fuck!"
I don't know this guy, but he looks hilarious
But
already.
okay, so before we get into this, going on that tangent where people just see things and they don't think about it. They're blind because they're religious.
Yeah.
I was living after my divorce, separation into the divorce. I was living with my parents, and my dad was watching television, and they were talking about they were criticizing the Pope about the rising cases and all this pedophilia in the church, and oh God, how's that possible? And immediately he just turned the TV off. He couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it.
And
You
that's just really depressing.
Your dad's in a profession where he should do that, though. He needs
Exactly.
to do that. But whatever. I don't want to. We shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean,
They don't know who
the
he
interesting
is.
thing is he seems like a nice person. Your dad. You could be
Yeah.
a really nice person, and
He's
we've all-
good-hearted. He just
Yeah.
he's just so, in a way, he's just so close-minded at the same time.
It's weird.
Depressing.
Yeah. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Your
But-
mom's also an artist, but also has that same problem. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of interesting.
Uh-huh. Well, I think there's.
We've
some-
all got problems. So what are we talking about?
in my life, and use them. And
Okay, I vaguely remember this guy. This is a different person who I was thinking of before.
God himself told him it's time for an upgrade.
He said, "I want you to believe me for a Falcon 7X." So I said, "Okay."
A Falcon
7X, yes.
7 jet like this one to preach
I mean,
to more
and they
people
kind of talk
around
at
the
the.
world.
Oh
And
my
he's asking his followers for the
They kind of talk like
$54
Trump. They
million.
talk at that grade level.
I really believe
Very direct
Jesus was physically
to the
on earth.
core.
And where is he? And he's doing this
From his
interview. Is he
Louisiana
at
headquarters,
Jesse
Duplantis is among a group
Who
of
is
televangelists who preach that
Duplantis?
their
Oh my
Duplantis?
God! Look at that fucking thing. Look at the cars in comparison. That thing is fucking huge.
Is this what a mega church?
That's like a
looks
hotel. That has to be a mega church.
Yeah. I
God's
mean,
will.
we can't see the
This
back
plays
of it,
upon the
but I'm
poorest
sure it's
people
pretty big.
that
I'm
He's
sure.
need
south,
money badly.
the southern. I don't know where
They're
he
told
is.
if they give money, God's going to bless them
Duplantis.
100-fold.
Duplantis lives in a
Abort jet.
35,000 square foot
Wait.
mansion.
Hold up. So he actually has a jet.
Yeah.
He's got 3
He has
jets.
a jet, and he wants
3
another
jets.
one.
He wants a 4th jet.
Yeah, he needs another one.
Obviously, and
Yeah.
it's got to be that 7X one.
Mhm.
Yeah, whatever
Yep.
the fuck that is.
The other 3 aren't good
Holy
enough.
shit.
Is he gonna sell them and donate the money? No.
Oh wow, what's behind the coronavirus? That's gotta be hilarious.
Wait, what?
He's got a video.
Oh
What's
my
behind the coronavirus?
God!
This is gonna be
Should we?
hilarious.
Oh,
I hope
not
this
the
is-
whole thing. We're not gonna do the whole thing,
I can't-
obviously.
we
But
obviously
different.
can't do that.
I've been to
We're
war.
logical people.
And about a week ago, Saturday, if I get closer to you, I got makeup on my face.
2 seconds. I have a hiccup here.
Wait a minute. If I get closer to you, I've got makeup on my face.
What?
Is he holding church during the coronavirus?
Floor.
Is this before?
Probably.
Before
Did
the
not bend when
March.
I
Oh
was-
no, it's March
March
17th.
17th. So probably a
Neither
little
did
bit
I.
before they
Praise
did the
Lord. So I got a
restrictions.
major black
Yeah.
eye. Kind of remind me when I was 10. I'm getting younger.
A black guy
They put a
reminds me
little
of when
makeup
he
on it
was.
and all that kind of stuff. And but
What?
God's been so good and gracious. Actually, what happened? This should have never happened.
Oh yeah,
I
he does
never
look like he
fall.
was punched
Never.
or something. He
I'm
probably
in pretty
fell.
good shape, as far as a man my age.
He was
To
fucked
make a
up on
long story
roofies
short,
and.
I bought a pen. Say this, everybody can
Well, the hookers and everything take their toll.
I was in my
You
truck.
know.
So I opened up the back of the truck and I pull it out, and the Lord said, "Wait for Kathy to help you."
Who the hell's Kathy? His
There's like
wife.
as you grow old in the Lord, He don't holler at you no more.
As you grow older in the Lord, he don't
Still-
holler at you no more.
And
What?
even when He talks, sometimes Elijah said, "That ain't Him."
Okay,
But it
I want to
is
hear
him.
his Corona bullshit.
My wife said, "Kathy's in the truck texting Jody."
Yeah, this is.
I did. I tore all the muscles between.
Oh, for God's sakes,
My
we're still
rib-
on
Okay,
personal
we're
diatribe.
not gonna
Where's
get
the
to it.
goddamn COVID?
It's obviously bullshit.
Yeah,
we've gathered
obviously
that
bullshit.
much.
We know this already. We don't even need to. Did that fucker ever get his jet? Did he get his fort? We can probably find out.
See.
I bet you somebody did. Somebody probably
where-
donated a
where is
fucking jet
that?
to him.
So that was in 2018.
Hey,
so I'm
you know
sure
what?
he
That's
has
probably
by
a great
now.
tax write-off for a rich person, though. Donate a jet to a religious organization.
Hell yeah!
So I could actually see somebody doing this and taking advantage of the people that they think they're taking advantage of. Because what a tax write-off, right? I don't know. I could be talking out my ass. I have no idea.
But he would get the tax write-off more than likely because he's a church. The churches don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, that's true. I don't understand the tax part very well, though. But I know that's
They don't pay.
definitely true.
If you're
Not in America.
Yeah, in America, if you're a religious institution, you don't have to pay
no
taxes.
taxes. Yeah.
Which
Which
is
is odd.
crap.
I don't. Well, whatever.
Let's see. Whatever.
Corporations
But
don't even pay their fair share. We're paying more taxes than a corporation does.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
ridiculous. But I could see how in this country it would be set up where the churches don't pay any taxes, and the religious institutions don't pay any taxes. But yeah, that's aside the point. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, this
God,
is
he's
just
still
all
alive,
bullshit.
too. Well, Pat Robertson's still alive. Benny Hinn is another one that's still alive.
Who?
Oh, he's great. Benny Hinn, you'll know him when you see him.
Oh,
there you go. He's the first one that pops up. Yeah, he looks. There's the guy, Kenneth Copeland.
Wait,
Kenneth
what?
Copeland, that guy, right there. He's the one that was caught on film recently with an argument about getting a private jet, and it was kind of funny. He's like, you believe in this, that, and why you're asking for a private jet for Jesus or something like that. It's pretty funny.
Let's see.
Jet interview. It's one of the first one that pops up. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Oh, that's it right there. That's it.
Top one.
Yep. That's hilarious.
Well, I don't want to watch this whole thing,
man.
but
No, it's probably short though. It's from Inside. Oh, it's just a few. Yeah, Inside Edition. I wonder what year this was. Maybe 2 years ago, 3, 4. I don't even know. I thought it was hilarious though. Oh,
last year.
It's pretty funny though. It's great.
How are you, sir?
Oh,
We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial.
Of course.
Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into
he
a
gets
tube
angry,
with
though.
a
It's
bunch
pretty
of
funny.
demons. Why do you think that?
No, listen to me just a second. Not the people.
No, not
the main reason.
Main reason
is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But
isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid.
Well, he actually paid nothing. So he's
You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
Oh, okay.
Well, if you'd like to come out here, I'd like to give you a chance.
I'm about to go meet some
She's
12-year-old
so
boys.
And she adjusts her voice to his personality.
Inside Edition.
So
you
that
got to
he
get
doesn't,
this.
you know.
Now.
Oh,
Hey, you listening to me?
She knows it's
my
a joke,
wife thinks Inside
obviously,
Edition
but
is. Oh yeah.
Anyways.
He's hilarious.
Holy fuck.
This guy.
I have seen that guy before. There's another video I saw of him where he got fucking pissed.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All these old fuckers get pissed really easily.
And that's the thing that pisses me off even more is that they know what they're doing and they don't give a fuck to the point
they don't
where
give a fuck. And at his age, they should know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 70 years old, 71, something like that. You should know. They do know. There's no way they don't know.
So here's the question: what happens when they die? Where's all that money go?
To their families.
Probably
I'm sure.
Exactly.
It's not like they're donating it to relief services.
You think that's going to go back into a church?
Yeah, only if they can make more money out of that church.
Yeah,
and
right.
Become richer.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Build the scam.
Televangelists are a scam.
I really, well, yeah.
All of them. I can't think of one that's not.
I hope everybody knows that, but I mean.
No, they obviously that's not.
Obviously they don't.
Not the case, but yeah.
People should.
People should, but
People
they don't.
should know that.
They don't.
I wanted to get on a different tangent.
Verbal gas.
Before, I don't mean fucking
everything.
I pull up these videos
Here,
and they
you
all
do
start.
that. I'll be right back.
Well, no, I was thinking we'd take a break, so let's do that really quick. We're gonna take a quick break. No, when I was a bartender, they have the spouts out of the bottle, you know. So they always.
And this was just like a closed cover, but it wasn't really a spout, so I don't know.
Yeah. So when you're a bartender, they say 3 seconds for a shot.
Oh, okay. That's probably 2 shots then.
Yeah.
In there. Do you want some? You better not.
I'll have a little bit. It's just vodka.
Well, but don't drink straight out of that
that's
though, just
right,
because
that's right. Corona.
We don't want to give our viewers the wrong idea here. But yeah.
Okay. No. I'll have some in a little bit then. We'll hold off for now.
I mean, if you wanna take the risk and get a different cup, I'll pour some in there.
Here,
it might
yeah,
be a
I'll
good
do
idea.
that. I'll do that really quick.
Okay, that way I don't drink too much.
Well, we have to.
I mean, I am a lightweight, so you know, not that experienced, not like our friend Coleman here. Just kidding.
Hey, I mean, you're not wrong.
No, I'm not. I was never a bartender though, too, so I don't really have that
I
experience.
was a
so.
bartender right when I was 21, so.
See, something I never really ever wanted to do. So, thank you. Just like I decided I never wanted to work in food because my father was a chef, and I was like, I want nothing to do with it, and I never did. So.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. L'chaim means to life in Hebrew, by the way. It's just a common cheering. Cheers, you know.
Wait, what for Hebrew?
L'chaim. L'chaim. Yep, la, and then do
so, you never did like the...
Chaim.
What? Is my volume like... Are you...
You sound distant to me,
but...
this
isn't... Oh, that's right.
I sound normal to myself.
Okay. All right, I'm back.
There you go.
Yeah, I had to unplug it. Let me just make sure this is...
Don't be rude.
I'm kind of retarded.
Is that Alex Jones?
That's Alex Jones.
That's great.
I'm kind of retarded.
Don't be rude.
I fucking
Don't
hate that
be rude.
guy so much. He's such a terrible person.
I mean...
The shit he did to the Sandy Hook parents is abhorrent.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely abhorrent. What a horrible person.
He's funny in the Joe Rogan podcast, though. I will say. You
I'm
do
sure
have
Joe
to give
Rogan
it...
milks it for whatever it's worth. Maybe we can watch a little tiny clip if you have a small one.
Oh, yeah. I could show you
me.
the clip from that one. Like, he's just like... He just goes off. He's
using it. He's using whatever platform he's given, and I'm so glad they demonetized him.
They're selling baby organs to the government. Oh!
He's an interesting person, and that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
I really feel bad for anybody that's ever had to actually cross paths with him. I think he's horrific. I've been following his bullshit for years.
Well, and now he's on war
and fascination.
Now he's on war with Joe Rogan.
What?
Because Joe Rogan just told him, like, hey, I can't have him on the show with all
Yeah.
this shit going on.
No.
You know,
That
it's a liability.
And I mean, it means he probably would have him on there. I mean, Joe Rogan's just a person. He's fallible like we all are. So.
Yeah, but I mean, he has advertisers just like everybody else, you know.
Of course he does, yeah.
It's interesting.
I like who's that Italian guy he has on, the neighbor friend. He's funny as shit. The older guy.
Oh, Joey Diaz?
Yeah.
He's Cuban.
Yeah. Oh, he's Cuban. He's great. I love him. He's funny.
Is fucking hilarious.
He's funny as shit.
That guy's fucking crazy.
That guy's fucking great.
There's a clip of him talking about...
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Mushrooms and LSD and God knows what else.
Right.
I don't know. But that's not the interesting part. I mean, hearing about other people's trips doesn't do his shit for me. It's that he's so open and the generational issue doesn't matter. He just speaks his mind and is open to younger people to...
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I appreciate that. We need more of that. Less generational bullshit and more connectedness.
Yeah, he's a character.
He's a character.
And he does go around to other
funny.
podcasts too, you know.
That's great.
He told a story about how he sold coke to Whitney Houston.
He probably did.
Yeah,
I would believe it 110%. I mean, that's horrible, but I mean, knowing what happened to Whitney Houston, but I mean, but he didn't cause her problem, and
no.
I mean, obviously he wasn't the only person who ever dealt to her. Obviously,
it's kind of the logic, you know, like back when I used to sell shit. I mean, if you sell someone something and they make the wrong choice and they do all that, I mean, I never really felt any personal responsibility for that.
Well, I think that's, that's a protective way of looking at the job you were doing. You know, it's just like... not
that I'd do that anymore, condone it, or would
not.
recommend anyone do that. No. That was a weird time in my life.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At the same time...
Also not how we know each other,
yeah,
by the way.
Exactly.
However, but it's I know a lot of people, a lot of friends that were in that life, and they did it for a very short term for whatever reason, and
it's
it was
good
just
money.
That, maybe. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was worth the risk to me, but
no, I mean definitely not.
You know, one thing you mentioned about that, everybody I could think of that I've known that are friends of mine that did that kind of thing. They were all in a really weird period of their life, were overcoming something or getting through something. It's just a really weird choice.
Yeah.
The way I grew up, which is somewhat around that kind of stuff, I would never choose it for myself, and I never did. So.
No, it's always better to find a good legal way to make money.
Yeah. I agree.
You know,
there's no reason to do that. I think that it's a emotional issue that people go through. So.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems surrounding doing all that. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. we want to talk about judgment and how these religious people are judging people. I bet you that most of those religious people are doing incredibly quote-unquote irreligious things, like doing coke and hookers and
devious sexual shit.
Yeah, I mean, none of them seem particularly normal or well-balanced, in my opinion. So I can't see how their personal lives are any better than anybody else's. And there's no way that they know any more than anybody else. There's just absolutely no way. They're full of shit.
No, and there's a very distinct correlation between somebody who's very religious and somebody who has a lack of education. Now, in my parents' case, for instance, it's kind of flip-flopped.
But I have seen that before, though.
Which one? Like with my parents?
Both of them, obviously. But, I mean, thinking about the educated... I know a lot of educated people that are also religious.
Yeah, like very religious. It's kind of...
It depends.
It's interesting.
It depends, though. I can't think of anybody I know in science that's religious, actually. It's just kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I grew up in small town Iowa, so, I mean, it was all pretty much hand in hand there. But like I said, I don't think... I really kind of wish I had grown up in, like, a central area. Like,
oh, that would have been great.
Like a city. I would have been a lot more comfortable. I would have found my niche a lot easier.
Yeah, maybe a lot less anxiety. But I mean, we still have our own problems here, though, too. And by no means we're Chicago, which has a whole other set of issues that you can scratch the surface of.
Yeah, and I mean, nothing compared to...
Yeah, I don't want to live in that type of a city, but no, I mean, Des Moines has a lot more choice and options, and especially now, which is a great time to be from Des Moines. When this whole thing flattens out, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. We just need to get there. Hopefully a couple months this will all start dying down.
We're not great at patience as Americans, but we're working on it one by one.
You know us, when we have a TV show, we gotta have the whole season, like, right fucking then.
It's so hard.
Can't wait week by week. Nope.
I watch Star Trek Picard, which is really good on CBS All Access. Now? I'm into all kinds of weird shit, but this is great because when I was growing up, I used to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, which had Captain Picard as the main character.
Hell yeah, that was OG. I grew up on that
OG, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's multi-generational, so hey, cheers. Yes.
Stargate's
107. Great. Oh, I love Stargate. Got into that as an adult a couple of years ago. It's a really funny story. I was looking for on. Sorry, man. I was looking for.
Holy shit. I know people drink that.
You taste it. That's how you do it.
People give me crap for drinking whiskey.
I can't drink whiskey at all. I hate whiskey, actually.
I can't stand
Scotch
that
whiskey,
shit.
I think it's nasty.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, most hard liquor I don't drink.
But I'm sorry, you were saying...
Oh, yeah, I have to tell you how I found Stargate. So I watched the movie as a kid when it first came out.
That's how I remember it.
You remember it, too? Yeah, so we've got, like, I don't know, a few years between us, but... It doesn't matter.
I grew up old school, basically. That's all we'll say.
Weird to me thinking of Stargate as old school, but I guess it kind of is. But I saw the movie, and then I learned about, as a young adult, a TV show that came out. And I remember watching part of it at the time when it was still on the air, and I didn't like it at all, and whatever. Anyway, I ran off and I joined the army, and blah, blah, blah. And then, a couple of years ago, I got back into MacGyver, the original series with Richard Dean Anderson, which I thought was fun. Just nostalgia purposes. I don't know. It was a really fun show, and I found it on Amazon Prime. And I was like, oh, yeah, so let me see what else Richard Dean Anderson is in. And I was on my old phone, and my phone was flipping through Amazon Prime one-click purchases. And I ran across Stargate SG-1. I remember the show existing, but I didn't think it was any good. But I accidentally bought the whole first season with one-click purchasing. And so I watched it, and I thought it was great and hilarious and serious and fun at the same time. And I think it's different watching it as a 17 to 20-year-old kid to somebody who's in their 30s. So... it was great.
That's the great thing about film and TV and everything. You know, it means different things. Yeah, it means different things at different parts of your life.
Yeah, and the thing I can't believe now as an adult is that I'm friends with some of the writers that I can't even believe this, but I'm distant friends. When I say friends, I mean mostly on social
Like,
media,
you know,
but we
yeah,
correspond all the time.
Okay.
Well, a lot of them live in Canada. They're like Canadians, and I can't go there
Really?
right now.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of people that worked on the screenplay for Star Trek were Canadian.
Well, Stargate. A lot are
sorry,
A lot are
Stargate,
Canadians. I don't know anybody that worked on Star Trek. But that'd be cool. I would like to. No, it's great. But a lot of the writers I appreciated that worked on Star Trek, like DC Fontana, she passed away a couple of years, maybe 1-2 years ago. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I got into this writing program and I started reaching out to people that I knew, and it happened to be that they were teaching. And so they're teachers. A lot of them, they write and they teach and they work on these shows. So I got really lucky that they give me the time of day, really, who hasn't published shit. So they're wonderful teachers, and they give me a lot of, their creativity is how humans live. So
yeah,
if we don't have that, we have nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely a driving force. Not even in terms of art, like in terms of practically building things. Steve Jobs, Apple.
Apple's beautiful computer systems. I mean, just the software itself is amazing, and the computers are interesting too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he completely changed the game. I mean, there's no question about it. Yeah, it's important to be creative, definitely.
As we look at I know you guys can't see this, but Coleman's beautiful art that he made on the wall behind us here.
Yes.
He doesn't think is all that great, but it's actually pretty good. And he's creativity, it's just, it's so whatever. We know it both drives everything that we do as humans.
Yeah.
The drive to create and expand more and grow our knowledge base.
Exactly.
As humans. Some people are all about the money.
Yeah.
It helps, but it doesn't solve everything, as we know.
Not at all. See, for me, I have to be in a certain mood for art.
Yeah.
Like specifically painting or drawing. Like I really have to have this thing and be really motivated to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw. Obviously you can't see it, but I have this ginormous canvas that I got.
Oh, it's great. The one you just started?
No, not the one I just started. There's that one on the wall.
Another one?
Do you see that huge one?
The 3-piecer or whatever.
No, that's one big canvas.
That's one big canvas.
That huge one that's behind that devil guy painting.
Yeah,
way behind there.
I see it. The blank one. Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
Is that from Michael's?
Yeah, my good friend, my friend got it for me. She was like, "I want you to do this huge ass painting."
Oh, that's great. You should do it.
Yeah. So that's what. Once I finish that one,
that's gotta be expensive as shit.
Oh yeah.
The canvas. I used to buy it from the art store all the time, which I don't think it's here in Des Moines anymore. But at University of Iowa, it was there, which is where I first went to school, and I'm in school there now in a different program. But yeah,
that's just
all
expensive.
from a distance now, which is interesting. So, but I like it.
My mom is an artist, and she actually used to make her own canvases.
She used to stretch it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
See, I learned how to do that, but it's actually kind of cost prohibitive.
It's difficult.
And it's technically difficult.
Yeah.
You have to have all the equipment to do it, and then you have to buy the pieces. And to me, I'd rather just go and buy the stretch canvas in the frame already. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to put it together.
Well, and it's like those videos of the guys that do the really cool wood carvings or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
I would love to do that kind of stuff, but
That'd be great.
I'm not going to fucking spend however many $1,000 it costs to get all the stuff to carve all that wood. I feel like I would just I would get bored and I'd be like, oh fuck, I spent $3,000 trying to do all this wood shit.
There's a really interesting book I grew up with that's probably 100 years old by now, but my mother used to read it to me. It was called Benjamin West and His Cat Grimalkin or something like that. But it was about this kid growing up poor in 1800s or 1700s. I think it was written in the 1900s. I'm not sure. But how you would just get pieces of anything you can get a hold of, and he would paint on it and draw on it and things like that, and use whatever material was available to him to make art, and it worked out. And it was a really cool kid's book. My mother grew up with it when she was growing up, and she found a copy and read it to me, and then she died. I don't know what happened to the book, but I didn't find it in her possession. So
what's the book called again? Sorry,
I think it was called Benjamin West and His Cat Grimalkin, or something like that.
Or something like that.
It's an old book. But I can't remember. The kid was really poor growing up, and he would just take pieces of various bits of white paper and other things and just make art on whatever he had available, the back of something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because, I mean, a lot of this art shit is actually fucking expensive. It's stupid.
Oh, hell yeah. And that's the big problem with, like, getting into the arts or getting into, like, even, like, you know, music shit. It's all so fucking expensive.
Prohibitively expensive.
Like, you have to give an arm and a leg to fucking...
Yeah, I mean, the equipment that you need to even maintain...
Like, yeah, the fact I have the equipment I have to do this and my music, like, that took years of, like, hoarding and, like, having chances of getting stuff on the cheap or whatever, you know? It's not easy. You really have to have a commitment to it.
You do, and you have to sacrifice certain... Unless you come from a family of great means or what have you, then, yeah. And most of us don't, so, you know, you make do with what you're able to do.
Yeah.
If it means sacrificing
something. What are you
something.
implying? No, I'm just kidding.
if it implies, you know, sacrificing, buying, I don't know, whatever, a dresser or something, and you want to get something else, that's worth it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or dining room table.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, it doesn't
God.
matter. I mean, all it's irrelevant. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I have a mattress to pay off, unfortunately.
God, I've done that. It's taken... I've been there, and luckily I don't have that problem now, but I've definitely done that.
I'm not sure if because when I got it, I was supposed to pay it off within 100 days. I haven't checked up.
Don't worry about it now.
I think it's probably past it.
It's a low priority.
Whatever. But, I mean, in theory, I could, like, just pay that off forever and use my tax return to get some shit for the apartment. Or probably be smart and try to... You know, these are crazy. I'm apprehensive.
I have a 401k that's earning in a fixed account. So what that means is that I have an indexed annuity that's basically earning at a fixed rate. So no matter what happens, it'll always earn on the anniversary date once a year, whatever the percentage it bases off the market, which is if it's 2% or 3%, it's always going to earn no matter what the market does. Period. The end. Now, maybe you should look into one of those. So, I mean, you know, it's helpful. It's slow. It's slow as shit, but it's accessible money.
I mean,
it's better than the savings account.
That's always my problem is I don't think very long term. I always think very short term.
This is a mixture of short and long term. So, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it.
Well, I have a
like cash it out whenever I want.
I have what's the fucking term?
You have
Merrill Lynch account.
Yeah.
That's I had to pull everything out. And you know, to be honest, I'm really glad I did with how the economy's going. I'm really
depending on what kind of account. I work in the.
It was like a bonds
annuities,
kind of deal.
So.
Okay, so you know what's up.
A little bit. I know a little bit.
It's like I think it's like it has to do with stocks and bonds. It's like you hire you have money in an account with this company, and then the company's job is to
invest it. It sounds almost like a mutual fund almost.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Which can be a good thing.
I mean, it was great. You know, it actually I actually made a lot of money in the last couple of years.
Direct stock investment right now is probably not a great idea, but they always say to buy in a downturn. I mean, that's fine if you're rich and you have money to lose, but most of us don't.
That's the big problem. That's the big, you know, and that's kind of the whole thing with the Dow and everything. It doesn't really necessarily represent like the middle, lower class people, like people like you and me.
Normal people.
Normal Joes, yeah.
Normal Joes, yeah.
It doesn't really represent
that.
Well,
your parents are in a slightly higher...
oh yeah, they're
not working class. They're definitely solid middle class people that have respectable jobs, and so
I would say upper middle. Class.
Yeah, that's probably how are they invest. Do you know? Did they ever share with you how they invest their money?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so. A lot of people that have money don't want to share with you how they do it.
I have a ballpark of what they make.
I don't know why.
I have a ballpark of what they make, and now this information.
It's decent. I'm sure it's decent. You don't have to say it, by the way. You just
this is just the ballpark. So the last time I looked at this, which was probably
I know what his parents do. So
yeah, well, they're in law. That's all I'll say. Just very general. this is probably outdated information. This is probably from 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know the numbers now, but from what I understood back then, they were technically at the very bottom of that 1% figure that
I mean, that would make sense. That would make they probably don't believe so because of how they spend their money is a middle class way of spending money.
Yeah, they're very conservative in their spending.
Yeah, even though they're actually at a technically higher tax bracket than that, especially together as a married couple, they're kind of. I mean, if they wanted to push for, I'm glad they don't push for further. By the way, they stick to the real roots, the real people, and they're interesting. They're definitely interesting people. But yeah, I could see how they could easily, if they wanted to push that envelope and break on through to the other side, so to speak, they actually could.
Yeah,
if they wanted.
If they wanted to.
They don't really want to though. So I have hope for the future.
Yeah,
that they're actually morally they're not too bad. They are.
No, they're really not. They're
okay.
not. They're not like out to get anyone or out to profit.
I don't think so.
I really don't think that they fit that mold.
I don't think so. I don't think they understand what they have, but I think that they're actually pretty decent people. So you're really lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of interesting for how conservative my parents were. You know, living in small town. You know, let's just pull this up right now while we're on the topic.
Let's do it.
But when I grew up in this town, it was actually really interesting because, you know,
wow.
I was labeled as a rich kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, 110%. Like in my town, I was like, you know, my dad was up there.
That's a whole other kind of burden to bear.
Yeah. Oh, you know, having, you know, getting discriminated against one of your peers because you're like that. You know, people would always tell me that.
Well, you're growing up in the same circumstances as they are, though. And it's not like you're living in Chicago where you have different tiers of life. There's Orange City. And
you know, the thing is, you know, having growing up so conservative, you know, there were a lot of things that I wasn't allowed to have. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of movies. I didn't have a gaming system until I was an adult.
Yeah, I believe it.
They were totally anti.
Did you watch VeggieTales?
I did.
Yeah,
yep.
I actually saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I grew up watching PBS and movies.
PBS is solid.
Oh no, it is. I'm not dissing it.
It could have been a lot worse. You could have ended up with some bullshit.
Well, they did make us watch like tapes of like priests and like religious shit.
Yeah. Luckily, it's beyond Vatican II. So so it's not our grandparents' Catholicism.
Yeah, it's actually really ironic. The guy that they had me and my sisters would watch it downstairs. They would like put us in the basement and like they would make us watch like the religious tapes. My sister would like fast forward through it. My older sister, she was always the rebellious one.
She's the one in England, or she's the one. Yeah, she's hilarious. I want to meet her someday. I haven't met her yet. She sounds hilarious. I want to meet her.
She
sounds okay.
Yeah, she's interesting.
Is she getting married soon? Not sure. Okay, we won't tell your mom. It's okay. We won't talk about it. I was just curious.
No, I mean that's kind of all under wraps. I don't. She was in a really.
I don't
she was
blame her
very
for not sharing.
very similar to me. She was in a not good relationship for a very long time.
Unhealthy.
Before, yeah. So, she's like, kind of just got back with this guy that she met in England like right after. So she's kind of taking everything slow, which is smart.
Good for her.
Which is smart.
Good. No, I would too. Is he English?
He is very English, like to the point where you can't even understand him. He's speaking to you in English, and you're like, oh, dude,
you're
I don't know what the fuck you said, man.
Slow down, man.
Yeah, you got.
No.
You got cut that speed in half.
Talk slower.
So Sioux City Journal, this is a city that was like really big. That was the area that was in the Sioux City area, if you're familiar with that.
Which, as a native Iowan, I would know nothing about, if not for my Orange City former coworkers.
Yeah.
Which was a mom and her daughter.
It's really weird how many people from Orange City
escaped.
migrate here. Yeah,
so to speak. Yeah.
I've met like an inordinate amount of people like in Des Moines that I grew up with, just like in town. The veterinarian clinic down this road. This chick that was a friend of my sister's works there. I fucking walked in and like
But I'm surprised because without saying the name of my friend, when I asked you about my friend, you didn't know her name, but it could just be you just didn't I mean, maybe it was her father's name and not her name now.
I mean, if they're Dutch, I probably recognize the last name at least.
I think they're Dutch, but I could be wrong.
If it's like Van or Day.
It's like VR something.
Yeah, that's
very Dutch sounding.
That's Dutch.
But yeah.
But
you probably know their name, but.
So this is from this year, which I wasn't a part of, so I don't give a fuck.
I don't even give a fuck about things I'm involved in sometimes. Some things just don't matter.
So
it's such a wholesome community.
Yeah, right.
Is that what it looks like? I've never actually been there. Does it really look like that?
It does. Yep.
How big is the downtown area?
Let's see. Like that strip's probably like
a few blocks.
No, I'd probably give it a mile.
A mile? Oh, well, okay. Yeah. So longer than
There's
I thought.
a parade.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. There's like a parade.
It's more than just
the
one
town's
street,
about
one main street basically, and it's a mile long, and then there's little things around it.
Maybe a little less than a mile.
Little less than a mile.
But I mean,
okay.
it's a good portion.
So to me, this looks like Pella. From what my memories of Pella were growing up, which I used to go. So my uncles used to race in Pella motorcycles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay.
they had races in Pella around the time of the Tulip Festival. So we used to go and be around there. They did, I don't know, whatever motorcycle racing bullshit that I can't even remember. This looks like what I remember from being a child.
Yeah, this is them cleaning the streets.
Yeah.
Did they do that in Pella
too? That's weird. This
They
looks really familiar to me, but I've never been to Orange City, so this is probably my Pella memories.
I graduated that chick.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Where is she still in Orange?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know, yeah.
A lot of people that I went to high school with are still in there.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's like most places. You stay where your family is, really.
Yeah.
Unless you're really brave and bold and crazy, maybe, but yeah.
Well,
you stay where your comfort is.
Well,
that makes sense.
That's kind of the thing is my family moved out. You know, that's why I'm here in Des Moines.
Well, your dad wasn't from there.
No.
Your dad was from a little bit of pieces of everywhere, really.
Yep, he grew up in California and kind of just grew up all over East Coast, Midwest, everywhere.
He kind of chose comfort, I think, probably because of how he grew up. But I don't know. I'm not a psychologist.
Well, I think it had more to do with the job. He started out, the reason he
job
moved there
probably brought him there.
Well, yeah, he got the position of assistant county attorney. Or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nobody's watching this thing.
Very well. Very well. Hey, whatever you're comfortable with, man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he
and it's important to say that he grew up in a diverse way, and that your mother didn't. And but
my mom grew up in Des Moines.
Did she?
Yeah, she grew up here in Des Moines. Yeah, she went to Valley West Valley High School.
How does somebody grow up in Des Moines and end up in Orange?
It was the job.
Confusing to me.
We lived so.
This is not.
So
normal.
I was born in
this
Knoxville.
Is degression, not progression. No,
so,
really.
I know. I agree. I
don't understand.
It was the job and position.
Okay.
I think honestly.
Okay.
I think
because she's an attorney as well, and.
Well, my mother wasn't working at the time.
Not at the time.
No, she was taking care of the kids.
But she had an opening, and she went into it. So she was brave. That's really brave and.
Well, my mother didn't really. Like I said, my mom wasn't working. This was all my dad. My dad had the position, then like my mom stayed at home.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that your mom was working separately,
no,
and then they. Okay.
No, she started working again like probably 6 years ago.
Okay. Oh,
like, well,
that makes sense.
So the law firm that she's a part owner of now, which I'm not going to mention.
Yeah, I wouldn't mention.
She worked for them on and off, like over probably 15 years, just
That's
like
cool.
when she could, and then like she would.
Do you know what kind of law she does?
It's like
all kinds
of contracts and like
that's right. We talked about that before. That really complicated stuff that I don't really care for.
Yeah,
I was a legal assistant for a hot second, and I didn't like it at all.
Oh yeah, it's so much paperwork. Like looking over.
Well, I was treated like a peon for one thing, and if you're not an attorney, you're nothing at this place where I worked. But
well, she has to keep in touch with all of her clients all the time. Mm-hmm. Has to deal with all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I do have a friend who is a paralegal who has 10 times more education as a paralegal, professional paralegal education, that she really should have just straight gone to be an attorney. Yeah. And I don't know what her fear is, but she would be a really good one. I don't know. She's still young enough she could do it. I mean, you're not too old at any age really to do something anyway. So she really, I don't know. People get scared.
Maybe 65, 70. You start
Oh, she's way younger than that.
I think by then you should start hitting the golf course and
yeah.
taking some sauna or something.
Right.
Stop your career, man.
Stop your career.
Stop. You know, some
she looks interesting.
Yeah, there's some cuties. There's some cuties in the.
That's the thing. It was all I just thought she looked like somebody I knew, and that's why I.
Oh really? Oh really?
Yeah, and that's why I was like, but it's not her. But it looks like maybe they're related. It's Orange City after all. So
it's all very possible.
Probably a lot of them are related. No offense.
So, yeah.
I actually have to be careful about whoever I date now because I have to make sure that he's not in some way related to me, which is entirely possible. I will have a long conversation with everybody about this later on in my life, but it turns out, I mean, we're not always who we think we are, so I have to be very careful about who I date.
But yeah, this happened. So this was like a 4-day event. I marched in the band with wooden shoes. I play. Well, let's see. In middle school, I played saxophone, and then in high school, I played tuba.
Oh, you know, David Bowie played saxophone.
Yep.
David Bowie was a saxophonist.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what got him in the music was saxophone.
Yeah, and I also played oboe.
I actually played oboe in
grade
school for
That is
a
the most
minute.
difficult fucking
Really?
that mouthpiece. Holy shit, that thing is so fucking fragile.
So
I broke that thing all
my
the time.
music teacher told me that my mother played flute for many years, and she had I have a long discussion about an old school flute she used to have that I do not own. I would love to own. I don't know what happened to it, but apparently there's flutes on different registers now, and the one that she has from like 1960 or something, so it's crazy. But I'll have to talk to her former partner about that and see what happened. I doubt that he has it though. But in any event, my mom talked to my music teacher at the time about playing flute because I had an overbite. The music teacher told me that, oh no, that's probably not going to work out. And I remember for some recitals I did oboe. And I don't. This is the first time I've thought about this in so many years, like 20 years. I had completely forgotten that I actually had indeed played oboe. I didn't take lessons or anything, not other than beyond the recital classes that they had me do.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. I completely forgot about that until just now. How weird! My mind is totally blown right now.
That's funny.
Crazy, yeah.
That's a fucking hellish instrument.
I didn't know that. See, I thought it was fine.
See, the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
So like when you play saxophone, there's like a wooden.
The reed.
The reed. There you go. Yep, that's the term. So there's a wooden reed on a saxophone.
You have to wetten and.
Yep.
Yeah.
But on oboe, it's like the entire mouthpiece is that material.
It is, and it detaches entirely from the whole.
Exactly, and the whole thing with like it being moistened is like it chips.
Yeah.
It's really easy to chips, and if you chip an oboe mouthpiece, you're fucked. It's gonna sound like shit.
I didn't know all this at the time because I didn't take actual professional lessons. But
what grade would you have been in when?
Fifth grade.
Okay, so I mean, yeah.
But still, it's still interesting that I remember that. I'll have to talk to Mrs. Rorick about this at some point. I will. She now is a principal of
oh, interesting.
She actually, I think she might be more than a principal now. I'm not sure, but I love social media because you can connect with everybody. I'm great friends with my old art teacher, and we talked about this. But if it's not for these early teachers, I don't know if my music appreciation would be as great as it is now, even if I wasn't great at oboe or whatever.
See, I don't know. Maybe it's because I just am here and I grew up over there. I feel really uncomfortable like emailing any of my teachers, like because I have some really good influences from my high school, and like sometimes I really want to
use Insta, use Facebook, use your.
But I guess the whole thing is whatever. I don't know if I'm like really. I don't know. If you're a teacher, you see so many students. Does it really matter?
That's your anxiety talking, I think. And I think reality is, from what I know from many years of doing this, is that a lot of them are really happy to know that they had an impact on their students. And
that is true.
I can't think of anything. I can't think of a greater calling than having an impact on somebody else. We want to talk about religious callings, so to speak. But what I'm talking about is having an influence on the future generations and meaning something in somebody's life. You don't need a religious book to do this. You can actually go and be a fucking teacher and go and be that person.
Exactly.
And be nobody. Do you remember your 5th grade teacher? You remember their name, I'm sure.
Let's see.
How about your 6th grade teacher?
That would have been Mrs. Christoffel, and she was a bitch.
Well, but you'll always remember her. So imagine, do you remember a teacher that was great that you really loved?
Oh, Mrs. Fuck, I don't remember her last name. It started with a K.
Has slightly more to drink than I have, but he ordinarily would.
What's the drink? Or not the drink.
See, look what I've done, you guys. I'm sorry.
What's the teacher? What were you just saying? What teacher?
Mrs. Rorick. Mrs. Rorick was my music teacher.
Oh, okay.
I also I have Mrs. Grace, who was my art teacher. I'm still in touch with to this day. Who I saw just a few months ago before all this started.
I had an art teacher in high school. Her name was Mrs. Potterbaum. And she really helped me out a lot with my mental health and depression. She actually was my, when I got confirmed in the Catholic Church, she was my person.
She was your lady.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. What a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's really cool.
You should tell her what she meant to you someday, because really, that's what matters in life. Nothing else matters, really.
See, this might sound really...
What influence you have on others.
Yeah. This is probably really petty and really stupid, but I always have like the religious aspect of my mind. Like the fact that I'm not that mold anymore. You know, I'm not the mold that I was when I was in that environment and while I was like sucking everybody's dick and like trying to, you know, be everybody else's.
Have you ever seen Stand By Me?
Yes, I own that.
Do you remember the part where Jordy, the narrator, is saying, I don't have friends like I had when I was in 6th grade or whatever grade it was. Jesus, does anybody? You know, I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, we all grow up, but at the time it was valid.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, these people mattered, and actually, they still matter to my life. I'm grateful to reconnect with them as an adult.
Yeah.
I met a lot of writers and artists through my art teachers, through my previous teachers in my previous life. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm super grateful, filled with gratefulness.
Yeah, I really wish I had more. What's the term? I wish I had more fun when I was younger. I wish I had taken some more risks. You know, done some crazier shit. I think I maybe would have appreciated my childhood a little more, and I would have settled down a little bit more. Things would have been different.
I get you. I
would have been able to focus as an adult. I think, you know, I feel like I would have gotten it out of the way, and then I
don't know about that. I know what I think. Growing up in between conservative and non-conservative, part of my family is, I think what I notice in you is
Go ahead.
I think having just because, I mean, I was given greater flexibility and options that conservative people were not. I was really lucky to go to an elementary school here called Greenwood Elementary, and it's a very progressive, very educational, very privileged school. I have gone to 2 other elementary schools, but Greenwood is what stood out in my mind. And having the access and the flexibility and the non-judgmental environment that a lot of conservative people have, I didn't have that much growing up. So for me, I'm grateful for that. I think that it limits you a lot if you're from a conservative environment. You know, so you have to make extra effort to reach out on those people who had an influence on your life.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Well, and it's just about being open-minded. And, you know, not necessarily, you know, you just don't have to bring it to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, simple as that.
No, and you don't. You don't have to, not everything has the equal credence as other things, so, but it's nice to know these people. So
it's good to keep in touch with the past, and you know, keep in mind where your roots are.
But never stay in the past, because that's not really where we are. We're progressing forward all the time, you know.
Yeah, but it's still good to remember.
No, it's great, and all these people I talk about, they've all moved forward. I mean, my former music teacher is like either a principal or a district manager or something like that. She's a bigwig in the educational system. And she was great and a huge influence on all of us. And actually, I was listening to a song the other day. What was it, last night? Called Don Gato. I don't know if did you do Don Gato growing up? Dangato, about the cat who has 9 lives. It's either Italian or Mexican song, and it's about like a cat living lives over and over. It's really fucking dark, but I had this weird memory of it. Yeah, I know, right? But I had this weird memory of it. I think it was last night. I can't remember, but it was really funny. I
had a weird dream last night. I told Theresa this earlier. I don't use cocaine. I don't intend to use cocaine. I never have used cocaine.
Nice.
But for some reason in my dream last night, I was snorting copious amounts of cocaine. And
which
fucking loving it.
Totally not your personality at all, by the way. Not the hard drug user. Yeah.
No,
but it's funny to think I would have fun filming you for about 2 minutes, then I'd be really concerned about what it's doing to you. Yeah, not your personality. You're not that person. But
no,
so rest assured, listeners, 1, 2 of you, whoever you are, but it's not.
Don't take
that's
cocaine.
something we have to worry about.
I know people who use cocaine or have used cocaine. They always kind of try to give me the argument like, oh, it's not addictive.
Really
like,
I think it's highly addictive.
Yeah, horribly addictive.
It's just not acid or mushrooms. This is an addictive.
It's designed to be addictive.
It's like methamphetamine, sort of, right? Cocaine. It's an upper.
It's an upper. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's designed to be that way. You know.
That's right. What is this you have on the video right now?
So I don't know I don't know how much you want to get into this, but
it sounds funny. I would do anything right now, really.
Well, so I think something very interesting happened this week. Bernie Sanders dropped out.
I know. I hope to so many, but he's still there. Everybody, rest assured.
See, I'm confused about that. Like that.
He's still senator from Vermont. That's not changing anytime soon.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but like, that's what he says. He's keeping
to the left.
He's keeping the. What do you say? He's keeping the delegates.
I don't know. You're a step ahead of me.
Do you want to watch that? Do you have any interest?
I haven't. I've been severely limiting my news, and because I don't want to take things that make no difference in my life.
Okay, well,
or my friends' lives, because it doesn't make any difference.
Life is a negotiation. When you cross.
Well, I mean, I
is
don't even know why the fuck I had this up.
Oh,
the
fuck basis.
WHO, that's the World Health Organization.
When was
receives
this?
vast
this
amounts of money from
4 days ago.
What are we, 11 today?
Well, today's 11, so 4 days ago.
See, we don't even know what fucking date. I count on Coleman over here. Money. I have no idea what fucking date it is. It's the 11th.
Yeah, I have to check every time.
Tomorrow is Sunday. It's all I know.
I have no idea.
And they were wrong. They've been wrong about a lot of things.
Blah 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 wrong. Blah, blah,
and they had a lot of information early, and they didn't.
Exactly. Fuck this guy. But so I guess the main question.
Well, who cares? He's got a fucking liar. It's obvious. He's just a terrible person. So sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's a terrible. I don't even give a shit. I don't give a shit about what color you are politically. This guy's a terrible person. Even the worst, like, Republican governor or president I can think of is better than this guy. It's crazy. Ugh.
You think he's worse than Bush?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Why would you say that? What's your argument behind that?
There's so many reasons why. I think they're both epic liars. However, I don't think anybody lies or is egotistical as this guy is. I think his egotism, his narcissism is his undoing. I think that
it's definitely worse than Bush. I'll give you that.
It's worse than Bush.
But does that define him as a worse president, though?
Yeah,
just for being.
Probably.
You really think that's a high enough quality?
Probably, because it defines all of his actions. So everything's about what is benefiting him to the expense of everybody else, no matter what.
Well, I'll give you credit to that because, I mean, that's become very apparent with his response to all this.
It's so sad. I feel bad for my friends that voted for him because I do have friends that voted for him that were hopeful. And I knew that it was going to be bullshit, but they were hopeful, and it turned out like I thought it would. Terrible.
Yeah, essentially. But, I mean, whatever. This video is him, calling it the WHO.
I honestly don't watch hardly any TV at all.
So, I guess you haven't been keeping up with anything?
No, I keep up with things, just in snippets. I control what I intake.
So what's your opinion on Biden being the last
fuck. God damn it. We're all fucked, y'all. I mean, seriously.
At least you're open-minded enough to admit that.
Yeah, we're all fucked.
I would agree.
I mean, the reality is this motherfucking guy is probably going to take 4 more years because Biden's not as strong as Sanders was. He's not as diametrical to Trump as...
Well, his mental health is horrible. I have a couple
Trump's
clips.
mental health is horrible.
Well...
10 times worse than Biden.
Yeah, I would agree. But, I mean, in terms of... Because, when you see Trump...
We got 2 old motherfuckers here that are going to battle each other out. I mean, whatever. At this point, give me a cigar and some liquor and we're good.
But, I mean...
Fuck.
There's...
I'm prepared for 4 more years of Trump, honestly.
Caucus.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's how I feel,
You ever
too.
been to a caucus? Where the fuck is it? New Hampshire. Where is this? North Carolina. Oh, South Carolina.
That's not true. And no one has ever
This is just a compilation.
I mean, okay, so I don't watch videos like this because they are edited and slanted and trying to present whatever view they have. Now, I know...
Well, I can understand that, but in this case, I mean, it's pretty apparent when he's fucking up, when he's slipping up.
Does that really matter, though? I
think it matters if
Is that what the voters remember? And the honest answer is no.
Well, they're gonna... Well, if it's
people like me and you, yeah, but most people are not like us. So let's be honest.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. I mean, because in the end it doesn't matter because all that matters is how the media
I'm voting
depicts it.
blue no matter who. I don't give a fuck. And I was a longtime Sanders supporter. I was a volunteer for the Sanders campaign from the very first time around. But I vote blue no matter who. We're talking about Roe versus Wade here. We're talking about matters that are way beyond where... we're talking about the future of society, and my petty little differences with Joe fucking Biden is irrelevant here. We're talking about the better good of our entire community.
But if he's not mentally functioning, is he able to be a better
Trump
president?
mentally functioning?
I would argue probably more than Biden. In all
You think
honesty,
so?
I would. I mean, look at these clips. Watch this.
Biden was a proven vice president of President Obama for 8 years.
That was. I mean, but he was old then.
3 years ago, 4 years ago.
But
whatever.
it's. I mean, it's apparent that this man has onset dementia and has severe.
Is it?
He can't. I mean, yeah. You look at if you actually
find a video that's not edited.
Okay. Here we got one right here.
I agree with you.
Here.
This is a rich person problem right here. Poor children just as talented as my kids. I know about this, yeah. I mean, that's a problem. This is in Iowa.
But
oh my God, with my friends with the Asian and Latino coalition.
Okay, but if you...
Who I've donated to, by the way.
But if you listen...
They have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Allegedly.
Wealthy kids, black kids.
Well, obviously he picked back up at the end, but I mean, you can just looking at him there, you can tell he's
fucking
old.
Moron. They're all old. Both him. When I watch a Trump bullshit speech, whatever variety it is, this guy goes off the rails. He's talking about his ratings. Who gives a shit?
I agree.
But he's playing the media like a reality star.
Do you really think that Biden is? I just don't think he's doing this because he wants to do it. I think that there are people that are politically.
I don't think either of them are though, and I can't compare the two.
But do you think I would argue that Biden would potentially be more of a puppet than Trump is?
Puppet to who?
Puppet to the people that are backing him financially and politically.
No, he's going to be fine no matter what happens. Even if we don't vote him in, he's going to be rich as shit and still have influence on
I understand, but
population.
I mean, that's been told time and time again that political influence is with money. So don't you think that would be...
The worst thing that's going to happen to him, he's not going to get elected. I mean, whatever. Right like where we were. So we write out
true.
Trump. That's the worst that can happen. This motherfucker doesn't get elected. And I will vote for him like I'm voting for my grandmother on Sunday church election. Because it matters that much. Because I care about Roe versus Wade. And I care about women's rights. And I care about the healthcare system. I don't think we should have pay for play. I believe that we deserve a universal healthcare. I think that we deserve that as a country. I think that most Western democracies already have that. We don't. We're behind the times. And we should be a forerunner in this as America. But we're not living up to our own name, and that's disturbing to me. And we're stuck with fiddly fud and fucking asshole fucking Trump. I mean, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
It's terrible. Terrible.
So, I mean, I guess the question is, can anything even be done about any of that?
Yeah, I mean, we can vote blue. We can vote blue.
But
and get rid of any down ballot people that are still out there.
But I think it's dangerous to just assume that voting blue is going to solve everybody's problems.
No, it's nothing. Voting for somebody doesn't solve everybody's problems. Disillusion yourself with that right now.
I understand, but if you're giving into that ideology, just because, then you don't.
What we're voting for is the Supreme Court. When we vote for Biden, we vote for the Supreme Court. We vote for who's in the Supreme Court. We vote for Roe versus Wade, which is integral to women's rights. If we want to have a bunch of, horrible things happen, we'll vote for Trump. And that's fine. We'll just continue as is, whatever. Be Putin's lapdog or whatever, because, Putin, the KGB man, he's who we should look up to. And Kim Jong-un from fucking North Korea? Are you kidding me? So this is where we're at right now. Between this guy that supports Putin and Kim, what the fuck is his name? The North Korean dictator. Yeah, the dictators.
I guess I don't know if he really does. I think it's just kind of speculation.
They all support each other.
Well, but anybody probably would then. Clinton would have, Biden would.
No,
really?
No. When Clinton was president, nobody supported.
Well, I'm not talking about Bill.
The North
I'm talking
Korean
about
dictatorship.
But when money's
Putin,
involved, it could be swayed anyways, don't you think?
Of course. But we have to give ourselves the best foot forward, and that doesn't mean letting Trump win without opposition.
So let me ask you this: Do you not think that best way forward could ever be done with the Republican Party? Not
I don't think
any
so.
sense. Not with
it's
anyone.
Sad. It's sad. I don't think so, because I come from a great state of Iowa where Robert E. Ray was the governor in like 1970s to like 1980, I believe, before Branstad took over, whatever date that was. But I grew up with many of the children of refugees of the Vietnam War that were refugees of Laos, Cambodia, somewhere else I can't remember. Either or, but he gave refuge to these great people. The Republicans of the past are not like the Republicans of now. It's very, very sad. I don't know what's happened. We have no real choice anymore. We just have to vote blue or vote red, and we're fucked. So we have to keep the worst situation from happening.
I think that's one thing everybody can agree on, is that there are not enough young people in government.
But even Pete Buttigieg was a young person of my age group, also a military veteran who deployed.
Yeah, I know.
But
he was
bullshit.
Didn't like him.
No, he was absolute bullshit. He was phony as fuck, and he worked for that McKinsey shady ass corporation that works for foreign governments. He should never have been somebody who is. I
didn't know about that.
Oh, it's terrible. You'll read about it. McKinsey. Well, read about it. They support and prop up foreign governments. It doesn't matter. They're in it for whatever they're tasked to do. They have no allegiance to the country, and that's who this guy worked for. Phony bullshit. We can do better.
Yeah,
there's better young people than Pete Buttigieg. We can do better than this.
No, and that's kind of this. It's all sad because you kind of have to have a financial foot forward in order to really be.
He'll run again. No worries. I'm sure.
What was that?
He'll run again.
I'm sure.
I'm sure of it.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I know what's happening now is happening now, but 2024 at the end of Trump, who's going to be there? It's kind of a curious question.
You should play a quick video while I take a little break, and I'll be right back.
Sure.
Play something interesting along those lines. I know you've got a shit ton of things in there.
Oh, like related to this?
Yeah.
Okay, here we can do. Well, fuck.
I'm sure it's funny as shit.
Excuse me, I got to get this right.
And why should the voters believe?
This is just Biden, I guess. I didn't have that much content, to be honest.
Caucus. You ever been to a caucus?
I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. It's like she said, we're fucked either way. It doesn't even really matter.
That's not true. And no one has ever said that.
I personally would be more
has a
terrified
right
of
to raise a hand to a woman
potential puppet.
in anger. And so we have to just change
I mean,
the
it's not good
culture,
either way.
period.
I think
And
we
keep
can all agree with
punching
that.
at it and punching at it and punching at it.
I mean, it's really irrelevant at this point.
Let's do whatever you want to do.
It is important that Iowa and Nevada have spoken, but look. Get your words straight, Jack. I'm Jill Biden's husband, and I work for Cedric Richmond. Are you joking?
That could have been taken out of context, I guess.
Granddaughters not only love their dads, their grandpops, they always like them, and that's the great thing. Thank you, baby. Thanks.
Yeah, and that's
I
the
want you to
thing.
meet Finnegan.
I know a lot of people argue against him, all the creepy shit with him, but fuck. Those videos still give me the creeps. Him kissing young girls. He thought Monica Lewinsky was bad. Biden's kissing little 8-10-year-old girls. I don't fucking know. I'm not a fucking expert. I'm not a political expert by any means. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. And Teresa's getting some more vodka. Chilling here, the McAllister hours. Yeah, while she does that, I just want to say I hope everybody's staying safe. Take the precautions needed. Use sanitizer. Wear masks.
Yeah. Explain to them why we're around each other though, because we were isolated together. We're not just like we're meeting in the streets or whatever.
Well, we're close friends and we both interact with very few people, and we were.
Well, I was isolated with you.
Yeah, she was in a certain situation where she needed to move, and she questioned me for a week. I did mention that I was staying with a friend and I was anonymous with you, but here we are. It was however Theresa was the one. But anyways, yeah, she needed to stay here for a week, and that was kind of at the height of everything breaking out. So I think if the likelihood that we are either synonymous to that is, I think. But who knows, Theresa? It could be shooting up heroin in a dark alley. You wouldn't even know.
It's still my personality. Right?
You have no clue. Well, thank you. You read my mind.
I know, right?
The McAllister hours.
Drunken hours.
Drunken hours. But see, if I made it the drunken hours, I would have a commitment to drink every episode.
You don't have a pop though. I'm surprised. We forgot that.
Soda. Yes, I forgot to get some soda.
Well, we forgot that when we were out. So.
Ah, fuck, that's right. We were just out. We could have done
It's
that.
my fault. What's this?
So okay, so I'm gonna ask you.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna ask you about 3 different artists.
Wow, he looks like 1985 or something. I don't even know.
He
obviously. But.
So the first artist. Okay, so I'm just gonna list all 3. Oliver Tree, The Strokes,
okay,
Starfucker.
The Strokes, I know.
You know The Strokes.
I know
okay.
The Strokes.
So all 3 of these artists have released new material.
Who was the third one?
Starfucker, with the abbreviation STRFKR.
FKR. Okay. Makes sense.
Obviously, we can't play their music.
Actually, I've heard of them, but I haven't. I don't know if I've actually heard their shit.
I was introduced to them through my in-laws, brother-in-law to be specific.
Weird. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a cool guy though, but I mean, we had a lot of similar taste in music. But anyways, obviously you're not familiar with Oliver Tree, but I highly recommend him. He's very, very new. He probably
indie rapper. Oh, it's great. This makes sense now. I get it.
What?
Indie rapper.
Indie, yeah, that's
Final
probably.
Tour. Really? How old is
so
he?
That's the thing. He's only like.
He's like in his 30s or some shit.
He's not even in his 30s. He's like.
Oh, he's not even 30s.
He's like a little older than I am.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, and he's already retiring.
Yeah, whatever. He's gonna. Something else,
and that's why I wanted to touch upon
he's
is
moving
that.
Forward.
I mean, I think a lot of these people say that.
What's Michael Phelps got to go up a little bit? What's Michael Phelps got to do with that?
Michael Phelps.
Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, Michael Phelps.
Oh wait, what?
I see. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, they're just like
posing a bunch of shit in there. This writer, I don't know who this writer is, but
David Clemow.
Yeah, okay, David. Whatever.
All right, David, for dancing.
You got my
astronaut.
attention, David.
How's that? How's that master's degree in English treating you?
Yeah.
I feel bad slandering that because that is what you're going into, but I mean, you at least have a full-time job.
Screenwriting, which is really different.
So. Well, yeah, and you have a full-time job to back it up.
I have a full-time job. I'm a real person. I do real things. Like a lot of the writer or artists that I appreciate also had and have real jobs. So that have also done really great work. So
yeah,
mostly Canadians, which is interesting, but there's a lot of overlooked work in Canada.
Vancouver
is a
lot of
city.
really interesting artists.
I've only spent time in Montreal, which is interesting to me. Or in
I've never been
Quebec,
to
I should say. I loved it. It's just beautiful, beautiful place. There's a great restaurant there called Kenny Wong's, which is famous. It's a famous Chinese restaurant, and it's where I've had like Chinese frog legs and things like that. So
interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got Oliver Tree's got a new single. Check it out. That's really fun. The Strokes.
I know the Strokes.
I was shocked.
Heard them in a minute.
I know they haven't. This is the first album they've put out in 7 years.
This is the first I've heard of it. I didn't even know they had a new album until
I was
literally
shocked.
just now.
I was today actually. This morning, I was on Spotify, and I found this. I was like, I can't believe it.
They were a lot of fun to listen to. Being different as an indie band, and I really enjoyed it.
Comparing it to 80s sound, which I mean,
actually, I do kind of. I don't think they're like 80s.
They have
sound,
that
but
old school.
Yeah, there's.
Oh my God, they look like shit though. Look at that.
They do. Wow.
Oh. Wow. Look at him.
Well, I mean,
what's the guy?
They're living the rock star life. Whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're all New
whatever
York.
That is. Whatever. Yeah, New York people. I don't know. They probably don't sleep that
Holy
often. They're
shit.
at least not overweight or whatever.
Wow. They're
probably
all
healthy-ish.
they're all smoking 2 packs a day by the looks of it.
I mean, it's just interesting to see. Well, our heroes grow up. We grow up, and
yeah, exactly.
We're not how we looked like when we were 18 years old. So, thankfully
no,
for me,
it does not work like that.
Oh my gosh!
Wait.
I'm excited about this. This is the first I've heard of this. So
yeah.
Do we have something we could share?
What was that?
Is there something? Did they put out an actual track yet?
Oh well, it's a whole album, so yeah.
Is there something
it's
we can listen to? The good one?
No, copyright. I've been getting fucked with copyright the last couple.
That's
so
all right.
Unfortunately, we can't listen to anything on the podcast.
The new abnormal.
But yeah,
I love that.
It's called the new abnormal.
True. People say the new normal all the time, but there's nothing normal about what we're going through, you guys.
Right.
This is not normal. We're just kind of in this, and this is where we are. We'll get through it. It'll be okay.
I have not listened to this yet. So maybe after the podcast, maybe we should.
We should probably
take some time to do that.
We should probably at least listen to at least one or two.
At least a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, whatever their highest rated ones are, I recommend.
So this Starfucker, this album that I was talking about, which their abbreviation is STRFKR.
Who I don't know as well as the Strokes, so but I have heard of. And I'm sure
it's like indie.
Like I said, listened to, but probably don't really know.
Wait.
2008.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
All right, that makes more sense.
So I mean, it's kind of it's just good that people are releasing material in this time. Keep people busy.
Yeah.
That's the key, you know.
Well, I mean, luckily with technology, we can do all this remotely now. It's not ideal, but we can. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna suggest one more break.
Okay.
Here, and then I think we're gonna take another 45 minutes or whatever. Finish it up.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back.
Winning. Tiger blood. Yeah. Why don't you have that pre-programmed?
Winning.
Oh.
winning.
Oh, was it just saying winning the whole time?
It was.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It's gonna be a bitch to edit though. No. Holy fuck.
It's gonna be hilarious. You have to like edit out what we did during the background.
That's about the dumbest question in the world, obviously.
Charlie.
That's about the dumbest question in the world, obviously.
Oh my God, there's his father was Martin Sheen.
Yeah, we talked about this in the podcast.
Have you seen Martin Sheen's work though, other than Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, I've seen some of it. I guess not a lot.
There's a really good new modern movie called The Way with which is oddly it's It's got religious connotations. It's about Camino de Santiago, which is the walk, the way. It's. I'll have you look it up later.
Okay. All right. Let's get back.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, and we are back with Theresa here to finish this up. It's been a very interesting discussion so far. I love that we were able to get into religion and some other shit.
We're cool people. We like each
exactly.
other. We're good people, and we like each other, which is the best you can get out of life.
Exactly.
If you can find other people you're on the same wavelength with, whether it's just friends or more than friends or whatever, if you can find those people, stay with them the rest of your life. Best you can get.
Exactly. And, we don't necessarily agree on everything either.
We don't have to.
We don't have to, exactly.
No, we respect each other, and that's all that matters. We see each
Exactly.
other's point of views. We respect each other. And the bottom line is, that's all that matters to me, is I care about Coleman, and that's it.
That's
Beyond
good.
that, none of that shit fucking matters. He'd be on my zombie apocalypse team, which we kind of are going through right now, aren't we,
Shit.
Coleman?
I mean, in a way,
For fuck's
yeah.
sake. You know what I went through when I first had to move in with you? It was an uncommon situation. I won't go into details, but I had to move really suddenly.
Yeah, really quick.
Really quick, and Coleman was there, and boom. And, I mean, luckily, so...
That moving day was a long day. Holy fuck.
Jesus, that was... Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, though. Thankfully, I'm kind of a minimalist, so I didn't have a whole shit ton of stuff, but... I mean, I've helped you move, you helped me move, and we're good people. And it's not tit for tat. We care about each other as people.
Exactly.
Bottom line.
That's the important thing.
That's the important thing.
So, anyways, we're going to get back into it here. You're familiar with Dr. Seuss, of course.
Dr. Seuss.
Who the fuck isn't?
Box and Socks was my favorite, by the way. Not...
Was it Rocks and Socks?
Box and Socks.
Oh, Box and Socks.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with
Box
that.
and Socks. Oh, it's the best. You would probably remember a little bit of it if you saw it. Yeah.
I mean, I only really remember the classics.
It is a classic. They're all classics now.
I mean, they all are, yeah,
This is
exactly.
like, God knows how old it is, but...
But anyways...
Green Eggs and Ham, everybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
To some degree, you know.
One fish, two fish, red
One
fish,
fish, two
blue
fish, red fish, blue fish, yeah. Been played on many times.
I actually looked it up because there's always the myth, the story that Dr. Seuss took a lot of LSD, and LSD was not in creation at the time that he was doing this.
What about mushrooms? That's
I mean, it's very possible he was still smoking pot or taking mushrooms.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't have specifically been LSD.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know if you've heard of these. These are called the Midnight Paintings. These are a series of paintings that he refused to let be released until after his death. And they're really like dark
really
and
nice.
they're nice, but like they're kind of darker in nature.
No, I love it. This is totally great.
This one was like,
I love that.
if I can get a larger image of it.
Oh, very German. Why is this German?
No, it's
Theater
as good as it
Geisel.
gets, but
I don't know who that is. That's German, though. Who is that?
wait, what?
Well, it says in the intro here, if you go back, it says Theater Geisel, Midnight Paintings, The Secret Art, Venetia. I mean, Venetian
I don't know what the
is
Venetia is.
Italian. That's Italian, but
Maybe that's
Theater
where
Geisel. Geisel's for a German name. Who is...
Well, that's his real name, Theodore
Is it?
Geisel. That's Dr. Seuss's legal
I had
name.
no idea. No,
Yep.
I had no idea.
It's Theodore Seuss Geisel.
Why would he choose Seuss? S-E-U.
Seuss was his middle name, I'm pretty sure.
Ah, very odd. So Seuss Theodore Geisel is his real name.
No, I think it was Theodore Seuss Geisel.
Oh, wow.
I think Seuss was his last or his middle
I'll
name.
look this up when I'm more sober and coherent, not dealing with COVID-19 restrictions,
right.
I suppose.
This one's very interesting too.
Oh, that's great.
Cat playing pool, smoking a cigarette.
That is amazing.
And that was always the thing is Dr. Seuss smoked cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he didn't want that to be
most
apparent.
people.
Yeah, he didn't want that.
Well, I mean, okay.
Well, but that was his whole thing is
No
like he
kid's gonna look that up, but yeah.
But
As an
like
adult, we will. Yeah.
So like in this art,
That's beautiful.
He would paint with cigarettes.
Absolutely beautiful, though. I mean, that's amazing. Really,
that one's
good
really
work.
cool.
That's great. Oh
and it's weird because
So
it
he-
like
Wait, tell me more. He wouldn't allow his estate to release these until after his death?
yeah, he like kept them. He kept all these pieces away.
So he had some kind of a post-mortem legal agreement that basically said at such and such a point you could release them following XYZ, but...
Yeah,
you know,
or something like that. I don't
really-
know.
That's
He just
interesting. I deal with that a little bit in my work, but I don't work in death claims directly, indirectly, but yeah, I see a little bit of this happening, but not like with the artwork. This is amazing.
and he does these ones where it's
he's
like
good. That's beautiful.
They don't really like this
Oh, I
one
love
especially.
that.
You notice like
great.
architecturally, he's not really. It's like kind of entrapping in a way because like
This is
there
very
isn't really.
labyrinthinian.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the labyrinth with oh gosh.
I guess what do you mean exactly by labyrinth?
Oh gosh, who was the Muppet guy?
The Muppet guy.
Yeah,
Jim Henson.
Yeah, Jim Henson. He did a movie in the '80s called The Labyrinth that had.
I've heard of that.
Connelly
I've heard of
and
that
David
movie.
Bowie was.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess a protagonist.
Yep.
I don't know. But
it's very much like that movie. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. This is very labyrinthinian with the staircases and the labyrinth and
Interesting.
directional. If you look up The Labyrinth with David Bowie or Jennifer Connelly, probably David Bowie, you'd probably find images, so to speak, of The Labyrinth. This is yours.
Yeah, that's mine. You probably don't want that one.
I mean, I could, but
Teresa's not an
IPA person.
Not an IPA person.
Not very.
You're talking about like this?
I can. No, but Labyrinth
The
movie.
the movie.
Type in movie.
So it's gotta be. So I don't know why it didn't bring me to that.
Well, I think Labyrinth is a common term.
Okay,
so
1986.
Labyrinth movie. Oh, 1986. Holy God, that's old as fuck. Wow.
Getting bad flashbacks.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was a fucking baby.
That's
but
probably Jim, isn't it?
That's Jim Henson.
Yep.
That's David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly.
Mhm.
She was like 17 or something at the time.
Jennifer Connelly's a babe.
She's an awesome actor. Did you see her in what was that movie she was doing?
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
Yep. She's great in that.
She's great in a
what else
lot of
was she
things.
in?
She was in the movie with
She's in a couple of his movies. Darren Aronofsky.
Oh wow.
That director.
Who's the guy that did Richard Leto? The drug movie.
That's Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
what else?
Jared
There's
Leto
other
was in that.
things though. What?
What do you mean other things?
What else was she? Oh God.
That she was in.
With Cameron Crowe.
Wait,
Cameron
what?
Crowe. When he played the professor who had delusions.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. What was that movie?
I can't remember the name
the
of
guy
it.
with schizophrenia.
Yeah. John Nash.
Shit. Russell Crowe, right?
Yeah, Russell Crowe played John Nash.
Yeah.
In that.
Oh, Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind, yeah.
There we go. That was a really good movie.
That was great. That was super great. Same kind of thing going on here.
But yeah, I see what you're saying though. Although I will say this, just by the images, I can tell this probably didn't age very well.
Well, you got to find a clip though.
Well,
the ballroom scene.
I see. I don't want to play any of that. That's the whole thing with the copyright.
You could find videos that are.
I don't know. I just don't want to gamble if it, even if it's like free and like
You never know.
they still fuck you.
How can you get away with this though versus video?
Well, because I mean,
I don't know how it all works though. I don't pretend to know. I
like
have
images
no idea.
is different. Like images
Is
and
it?
news articles, that's like public information. Like this is,
Well,
I
so
think
is
this is
film,
probably
though.
licensed
One
under.
could argue that so is a film.
Well, but not a film though, because I mean that's built. I mean that's made from a studio
Well, we
and they
could
have
find
copyright.
Something with giving them all the rights there too.
But these studios have presence on YouTube, and they claim that they like every time that you use their clip, they claim that copyright, which therefore disables.
What if we gave them the right? This is all the rights belong to so and so.
Well, yeah, but then I don't make any money. That's the problem.
We're not making money anymore.
Well, I
so
know,
therefore,
but it's the practice of it, though. It's not even making money. They could potentially block it if it was too much. which I've had that issue. I've had to re-edit my videos.
What are we doing if not pushing the envelope anyway, right? What are we doing?
Well, we're dealing with a private corporation, YouTube. It's not just like, unfortunately, it's not like the free market enterprise that everybody wants it to be.
I've been involved with YouTube since the inception, and to see it grow and change has been interesting to say the least. But I expect that, though, with corporations and law firms being...
Well, they have to appease their advertisers just like anyone else, But anyways, but yeah, those are the Midnight Paintings. Some really interesting stuff. I didn't see this one.
Really good work. I feel like I've seen some of this before, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'm into. I don't know if they do anymore.
Oh,
with you.
So
this is not. We shouldn't show this because I don't believe any of this shit. But
what?
This deep fake bullshit.
What do you mean you don't believe in it? What does that mean though? You don't believe in it?
It's a bunch of horse shit that somebody is trying to make you vote for Trump more or something.
No, come on. That's not what this is. This is just showing. This is just showing that. This is just showing that.
Remember this. Go right ahead. This might be
people
funny.
have the capabilities to do this.
Well, he is this person.
I don't not.
So.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
What would he know about the Jedi?
Legend. Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians.
Oh, my midichlorians.
To create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side that he could even.
So they're using basically clips from Trump to.
Yeah, it's like synthesized into a program.
Yeah, I mean anybody can. This is the dark side of the media. I like to dislike what Trump does for what he literally does, not what he says necessarily, but. We can take pieces of anybody now and put it online.
Well, yeah, I guess that's
bullshit anyway, which is on his own accord.
That's the scary thing with this is that in theory, somebody could create a video depicting one of these political leaders saying something which could cause, rioting or certain things to happen.
No.
So I guess that's why I share it.
My name is Theresa Starling.
This is just funny. I haven't seen this one. This one doesn't look. This obviously doesn't look that good, but it's still funny.
It's still scary.
May I see your credentials?
Certainly.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons to dislike politicians. We don't need to create fake things to do it. So I don't like this, and I don't like that it's a woman. Not that women can't do bad things, but I think that it's used. This is completely unnecessary. She's done plenty of things that are inappropriate that we don't need to compare to a serial murderer in a fucking movie, a horror film of all things.
Well, it's just a video. I
don't think it's that innocent. Just a video.
They're obviously Trump inclined, but I mean,
people have watched it. 530 people liked it. I mean.
Well, it's not to say Hillary Clinton doesn't come without criticism.
No.
So, I mean...
If you're a politician, you're open to criticism no matter where it comes from. Be it right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. That's your lot in life. You've chosen it, so...
I think it's meant to be a humorous thing. I don't think it's... I mean, obviously it's skewed one way, but...
I wish. We always have to be on guard, though. Yeah. We're intelligent. We can make our own. We don't need any organization to decide for us. Republican or Democratic Party, it doesn't matter. We could say, "Hey, this is right. This is wrong."
I agree. I mean, this isn't like inherently wrong. It's just funny. It's meant for comedic.
I wish I could laugh at it, though. I don't.
I'm not saying that I find it funny, but I mean, I'm sure some people do. I think it's just kind of. I will say this is probably the worst deepfake I've seen yet. So it's not. It's like whatever in my mind, but I just think the whole deep fake thing it's interesting technology. It's interesting software.
It's not though. It's been around for ages. There's nothing unique.
Well, but they're getting to a point. I mean, okay, this is a terrible example, but I mean, on my podcast, I don't want to play it again because I've done it before on my podcast. We can green screen
anything we want. The Queen's speech recently from a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Look up that shit. We can fucking
wait.
We can green screen the fuck out of that.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I guess that's what I'm saying is that it's just it's good to keep in mind that technology is moving at a rate that is extremely fast. We need to keep an eye on it. Okay. Anyways, I digress.
We all digress.
This I thought. Have you seen this commercial?
No.
This shit is fucking insane. So Burger King.
Burger King.
Yeah, this is a Burger King commercial.
Okay.
So you'll see.
Needs you to stay on your couch, and Burger King is here to help.
Wow. Good advertising, Burger King.
So you can be a true
yeah.
couch patriot.
All right.
We are also donating Whopper sandwiches to nurses.
You go,
and
Burger
supporting
King,
the
whatever.
American Nurses Foundation.
Sure.
Oh my God.
All right, that's the weirdest shit I've seen in a long time, but it's not invalid. It's just weird as fuck. Well, I have to remind you, like we talked about, there is nothing abnormal about what we were going through, what we're going through now. There is nothing normal about any of this shit. This is
I understand.
Normal.
I understand, but I mean, don't you think they're promoting like just sitting your ass on the couch?
No, man, no. In my 30+ years, we've never been through anything like this.
I don't really care.
Not even
I just
our
thought
great-grandparents have been through anything like this weird ass shit.
No, I agree. I just thought the commercial
fuck.
was kind of ridiculous.
No, it's extra. I'm not gonna take away from that. It's extra as fuck. Like, I mean, I would have chosen a different way, but
yeah,
it's predictive. Excuse me, predictive of our times. I mean, this is like abnormal.
I thought you would find this funny being military.
Oh my God, it's a Marine Corps drill instructor.
You gotta listen to
I love
this.
it already. I love it already. Oh yes. Oh, I know this fucking shit already. He's an idiot. I've already seen it. Yeah, this is a few years old actually. Honestly, I fucking hate the recruit for being a disrespectful fucktard.
See, that would be me though.
No, I don't think so. You say that. I've had alright. I don't like to talk about my military that much unless I know you really well. However, that said, I will say I was in Marine Corps ROTC for quite a while, and then I joined and enlisted as a Army military police soldier. One thing I will say, let me guide this.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is that a lot of people over the years have told me how they would react to a drill instructor or a drill sergeant. Drill instructor is a drill sergeant that's in the Marines that's training you for initial entry traiing. Drill sergeant is in the Army, somebody who is training you in the Army for initial entry training. So, like, who is that fucking sergeant in Private Pile, blah, blah.
Oh, Full Metal Jacket. I don't remember his name. We talked about that a couple episodes ago.
It's not exactly like that, by the way, as you obviously already know. But that said, a lot of people would come to me and tell me, I would be this way or I'd be that way. Whatever. No. What you would really do if you're a good person is fall in for the team. And you would. You would fall in. And you'd be
there's that team aspect. But I'm not good with other people though.
No, I disagree with that. No, I've known you for a minute now. I disagree with that. You're not good with other people. No, you are good with other people. You just have to find your niche. But the problem is that not everything comes with glory or title or whatever. So sometimes you just take one for the team and you go with it.
No,
and you're respected for it.
I understand
how it goes.
I understand that virtue. I don't know. I know people say 4 years and it's not really that much and it's worth it just to do it for 4 years.
4 years, 3 years. It's 2 years now sometimes. But
really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Don't worry about it too much. It's irrelevant.
I mean, I just don't think I would. I know you say otherwise. You think I would do really well, but I continue to believe that I would not do well in the military.
No, most of my friends, not about the military in general, but getting through basic training or boot camp, whatever you want to call it. I think he would be a boon. I think he would work out really well, and I think that your friends would help you work it out. If I can get through it, authoritarian as I am, you can do it.
This is true.
You can do it. If I did it, you can do it. It's okay.
Well,
don't worry about not passing it physically. You will actually do it. I did things I could not believe I can ever do. I can't believe the shit that I've done. I can't believe it, but I've done it. You would be fine. You would be fine.
It's inspiring.
Is it? I wish I would inspire people, but to what? I don't know. But I'm excited that I mean, I choose my friends carefully, and Coleman would be fine. He would be fine.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment.
Sedimentary rocks. But the sentiment, yes, I understand.
Isn't it great to have fully functioning gear in doing this podcast? You're not cutting out every 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, what? I'm a little concerned about what it does pick up, actually. Not that Coleman and I are doing anything we're not. I'm just saying some conversations are private. You know?
Well, I mean, I would edit. I edit around all the breaks and all that.
Whatever. I leave it up to him. Yeah. But him saying he'd be a shit soldier or whatever, that's a bunch of horse shit. He'd be fine. He would be absolutely fine.
Okay, maybe it's
been through it with fucktards that were like 10 times worse than Coleman would ever be.
Okay, well, let me give you this. Maybe it's not as much as I couldn't do it. I just have no interest.
It's not about interest. When you're in it, what I'm talking about is the kind of personality that you are. Is somebody that would put their neck out for somebody they cared about, right? So if you thought that you could lessen the suffering of someone else for a couple of more minutes and get through this, and you're like, I can do this, you would do it. No hesitation. None. No, I believe this. You ran cross country. No. Listen to me. Shh. Listen to me. Cross country is torture to me. You ran that, didn't you?
I did.
You did. Now, to me, that's absolute torture. I have been in a couple of races, and I've also done it involuntarily, in the military. And to me, it's torture. This motherfucker did this willingly as a part of a high school program. Holy shit. No. But he can do that, and I have a lot of respect for that. And I think that it's something you learn to appreciate. Yes, right? No, it's true. This motherfucker got no idea how much those skills are appreciated. And it's, to me, all my friends that run that kind of shit, that run the 5, 10, 20 Ks, holy God, I see you, Thomas. But you fucking people that run this shit, that do that all the time for fucking fun. Crazy.
Well, I will add that I haven't done that in over 5 years.
But you could.
I could,
and I
yes.
know you could. You could do it with very little training, which is fascinating to me, because I did not grow up running cross country.
I literally do know a lot about, I know how, like, if
Yeah.
I wanted to, I know how it could get back into shape.
Yeah,
it's a lot about
you
commitment.
easily could. Absolutely. It's about commitment.
Yeah, which is something I struggle with.
But that's why you would be respected in the military community, because you would have a commitment to that community, to that team.
But would I, though?
Yeah.
I don't.
No, you would.
I don't know if I can willingly, like, sign up for something like that and, like, be fully, like...
I have never been involved in a military that was about politics.
It's not even about politics,
bullshit.
though. It's not even about politics, though. It's like the whole mental framework. I think there's like obviously this stereotype doesn't fit you, but I was in Boys State. I think there is like something to be said for like there's some kind of brainwash mechanic and like lack of intelligence that goes into like being a member of the military.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. If you're gonna last a long time, or whatever, or have aspirations to a higher status than you enlisted as, maybe. But, nonetheless, at some basic unit level, at some group level, you're going to do okay. You're going to matter and mean something to those people that are immediately next to the left and right of you, and that's all that matters. People that you make coffee with in the morning.
Yeah.
People that you train with every day, and people that you learn what kind of person you are. I'm not saying the military is a great thing. It's done me wrong like nothing I have ever experienced before in my life. However, it's given me experiences and opportunities that I can never forget. And I'm grateful for
and there's
it.
something to be said for that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I have a lot of family members who were in the military. I have the utmost respect for people who are willing to do that.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't think I could do that. My father really wanted me to do that growing up.
It's interesting to me your father would not.
Wait, that he wasn't in the military, you mean?
Yeah,
or?
no, that he wouldn't want you to do it.
No, he did want me to do it.
He did want. What about your sisters? No?
Well, no, I mean,
Not really.
sexist mentality.
Right, of course.
Women don't go to war. Women stay at home and
of course.
clean and cook and
blah, blah, blah,
take care of the kids.
Whatever they do. I mean,
reproduce,
I suppose. I mean, God, that's torture to me. I'd
yeah,
rather
that's
be
like
in a combat situation than reproduce. To me, that sounds like torture.
Oh,
I mean, good on y'all. I mean, my sisters. I have a sister who just had a baby a couple of weeks ago. Good for her. I guess. Are they Corona babies? Is she a Corona baby? I mean, good for them. Yeah.
Like a crack baby, like a
I
Corona
guess
baby.
they're Corona babies.
Oh my God!
I have another
Jesus
one that's
Christ.
a year and a half old. That's a nephew of mine. I've got a niece and nephew. So I'm the oldest of several siblings, two of which have had babies in the last year and a half, whatever. I'm probably never going to have babies. I don't think it's a sign of success in life necessarily, but it can be. I mean, whatever.
That's fair.
Floats your boat, you know.
I don't think
I
you should
support
just
them.
like unwittingly have kids just because you want to have kids. Just because you're like, I
whatever
really want
like
a
our
baby.
parents' generation, like whatever happened.
Yeah,
It's what
exactly.
happens.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
I
if that
have trust
means
in you as
we'll-
a person, I'm like, no. I
Even if
don't
that means
really.
we'll, not be able to contribute to anything or.
I have
whatever.
a lot of family members that don't contribute to not only their own life but their immediate families. So I mean, having a child not a sign of success. So
Yeah.
everybody, it's incumbent upon you to make your life what you want it to be, and you should.
Yeah, and that was something I always found annoying when I lived in the small town before my divorce. Is like
We're
was
so
always,
grateful
that's always
he's back in Des Moines, not Canton.
Yeah,
South
exactly.
Dakota. Good
Fuck.
Lord.
But
Shit.
that's like an expectation of people in that kind of situation is that they expect you to like live in that mold of like they want you to have a kid, you have to have a kid, all that
Blah
shit.
blah blah.
Blah,
Yeah, no.
I do want kids for myself at some point, but
That's fine. You got.
I got
There's
time. That's what people say.
So many years. So.
But at the same time, I don't want to be like 50 and
You
then
can
like
still
have
be,
my
like,
kid.
34 years old and be fine. So.
But do I really want to like be 50 and have a 16, 18-year-old kid?
Yeah,
around?
why not? That's what all
I don't
our
know.
parents. That's what my mother did. So they all do.
Yeah,
They all do
I
that.
know, but I mean,
It's
I
fine.
don't know.
It's fine. You'll be fine.
I've heard that it works better if you do it earlier. Like,
Does
like,
it?
like
In
the
what
relationship
way?
between the parents and the children is usually better if that process happens earlier.
I don't think it's happened in our society yet, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
you can be
I
a
don't know if there's
forerunner
any
of that.
data on that or anything like that.
Well, to make sure you're with the right person.
I had one last video to finish this off. Just I thought I would brighten. We could end this podcast.
Is it
on
a
good
dog?
note. It is. It's a really cute video. You'll like it.
Oh, I've seen this. Oh,
You
I
have
don't
seen
wanna-
this?
Yeah, I have. I don't want to say anything.
Okay, but
I
before
wanna
we get to this, is there anything else? Is there anything you want to ask me? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything like that? Anything
That's
on your mind?
loaded. There's so many. I was
I
surprised
know.
to find out you grew up with the Police, the band.
Oh,
Yeah.
the band, the Police.
I mean, I grew up with them too, but they were my parents' band, and we've got a good 10 years on each other. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up listening to my aunt's cassettes. My aunt
Yeah.
had like an entire like case of like 150 cassettes, all from the 80s, and like I just found them in my grandpa's fucking like under the bed or something. I asked her, and I'm like, "Whose are these?" And
They
my
were like,
aunt-
you shouldn't listen to Son.
"Oh no, they let me keep it." Although they did, there was what was the fucking There's some rap group. Naughty by Nature. There was a Naughty by Nature album that they took away.
I can't believe they would listen to them.
Well, my aunt. It was my aunt. Not
but still.
My aunt's very like liberal minded, and
that's so funny as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No.
But so, anyways,
I think we should watch a little snippet of this and maybe listen to a little bit of the Police.
We can't.
Messenger.
We can't listen to the Police.
I think we can.
No, we can't. We can't. I'm sorry, we can't listen to any music.
We can watch this shit though.
But we can watch this video. Yeah.
Okay. I have actually seen this recently because it's hilarious as shit. He dresses up as the doggy's favorite toy, which is Gumby.
He can't control himself. What if he just started biting his head?
Well, I mean, luckily he didn't pee on him. I mean,
yeah, right?
God, right? I mean, that's what I would think of, right?
Yeah, they'd be like so excited. Yeah.
Pee on you. Yeah, I know. That's hilarious.
Jeez.
It goes on for a while, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've seen this before, actually, recently.
Having two big dogs like that. Let's see how long. Wow. Holy.
That's
wow.
what drinking does.
This might be one. Yeah, this might be one of our longer podcasts. Well, I don't know. We almost went 3 hours. Our last one.
You've got a lot of
after it was
editing
edited.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I will have a lot of editing to do, but it's gonna be a good time.
I say we shut them off and listen to the Police.
All right, we're gonna end this podcast today, folks. It's been a great time, Theresa. It's been great insight having you on, talking about all this shit.
Insight. So.
This will be released on Easter, obviously, as you're listening to it. Stay tuned next week. I'm going to have a special 420 episode. Not going to be smoking on the show, unfortunately, but we are going to get into those topics. Have a nice marijuana drug-related discussion. It's going to be a good time. So stay tuned in for that. Otherwise, everybody, please stay safe. Take the precautions needed for all this shit. And, yeah, keep rocking. Peace out.
Don't be rude.
A puppy?
Oh, really?
Yeah. For fun. I've seen it before.